check on stuff. Move this out of the way. Cool. Stream is live. Nobody's saying anything in chat. I can check chat if the chat box works. Cool. Chat box works. That's all good. Just checking video 720p. That's great. Blah blah blah. That's all good. Yeah, that's all fine by me. That I can move Discord to here. I gotta stop my Euro truck. Boom. Euro truck should be live soon. And that volume is good. That's good. The image is over the game capture. That should be the other way. The image should be below the game capture. There we go. It's that way. Whenever the image is there, the game capture is in front of it. I like the will be back image. Yeah, the image was made by Kobe. Anyway, we are ready to go. And as soon as I jump right into the actual game, I would like to start the podcast. And I'm in. Alright, so this is episode 13. This is another one, like, hopefully this is more concise than the other ones. Okay, let me start driving and then I'll speak. Alright, we started driving and now we can speak. So this podcast is meant to be about, let me pull up the actual title because I'll forget. It show up here? Cool. Alright. So the topic is titled blocks that cause newer players to quit or drop off and how active players avoid/work through them. So also let me pull up OBS back up here. There we go. So that's the topic. None of us in the chat, from what I can see, are exactly newer players. So it's gonna be like, at least for me, when I was thinking about this topic, I was trying to find a way that I could relate to newer players, and I couldn't really find one anymore because I feel like I can't really relate to newer players in that sort of aspect. So I would like some, like, what do you guys think are, like, topics that affect newer players? Not topics, roadblocks that affect newer players, and if you have come across any yourself, how did you work through them? The only thing I have to to put in that discussion is like how I work through my roadblocks, but I don't suppose them to be universal between newer players and whatnot. So
I consider myself a newer player. I've been playing less than a year, so.
Of Skullgirls.
Yeah.
Oh, real? I didn't know that.
No, I haven't even been playing a full year yet. I started last August.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good.
The elephant in the room for beginner players is chump checking.
Hell
I
yeah.
think that's a real problem. That people might do the same thing over and over again.
Lack of playing dive kick, to be honest.
You wanna I can stop dive kick and I can stop Euro truck and play drive kick right now.
Is this more like a drive kick?
Shut up.
Drive kick.
So you crashed the truck and,
I haven't crashed the truck. It's not even 5 minutes yet. I have not crashed the truck, alright? Can we leave these memes in the past where they belong?
It's kind of hard when you are a meme sometimes.
This guy. But yeah, I guess we can start on the chump check kick then, because I kind of agree that chump checking is like a thing that would cause newer players to quit, and I guess I should actually explain what it means since I've made a meme out of it and haven't actually properly described what it means. Chump checking to me is just like testing execution of people, like doing shit that is fake and that shouldn't work. Like, if you are good enough, you will just stuff that option, but because sometimes newer players aren't good enough at doing that, they will get hit by that option and then proceed to lose because of it. So that's kind of what I think a chump check is. Like you can jump check. It can be an execution test where you're testing a frame trap, or like if you're testing somebody on a reversal, on like an obvious situation, like, hey, I'm gonna do the same reset over and over. Can you reversal out of it? That would be like an execution test, which is similar to a jump check. I think jump checking is also a bit more strategic, where stuff like doing I think
to me, the thing that defines it is something that has a relatively easy answer that is strictly an experience or knowledge requirement of the setup.
Mm-hmm.
So something that isn't immediately obvious in a game, but after spending time in the lab, the answer is pretty simple.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it doesn't need to be necessarily simple. I guess necessarily easy. It can be simple, but it can be like something like a difficult to execute, like a tight frame trap. Like stuff like that. That can be a jump check. Or like imposing tight frame traps on somebody, and like catching them on like bad matches or something like that, or any bit of those things that can be related to a jump check. What the hell is a fire? Damn, that bit of oil truck's on fire. That's whack. That wasn't me, by the way. I didn't do that. I didn't crash into that oil truck over there. Very clearly obvious. But yeah, sorry. Yeah, like, what do you guys think about that? My opinion is that, like, on like how to evade it or avoid it rather is like stuff like that. There's so many of those like gimmicks in Skullgirls. I guess gimmicks and jump checks really are kind of one and the same. If you are talking about that in that sort of regard, where like if you knew that there's like an easy way to evade a certain thing, then you will almost never get hit by that ever again. But it's like there are so many things like that in Skullgirls that you just have to learn to deal with it as it comes along. And the better you get better you get at the game, the easier it becomes to problem solve that immediately. Age, if you're trying to say stuff, you aren't showing up.
You had the green circle, but nothing came through.
Yeah. In here, so shut up, Shuffle.
Testing.
Hello.
There you go.
I was wondering why you were talking through me.
Sorry.
No, that's alright. Yeah, so prior to this becoming a meme, like years ago, I was thinking about this kind of topic, and I think Skullgirls is one of these games where there are many of these like very basic roadblocks that you can put in front of a beginner player that separates them like in a very definite way from an intermediate player. Like you go on quick match, not so much these days, but a couple of years ago, and you'll run into someone who doesn't understand the idea of not pressing a button when they see sparks, so you can IPS bait them every single time, and that's a roadblock against someone who doesn't realize that that's something they need to actually think about before doing. Same with push blocks in this game, because it's so easy to create infinite block strings if they're not willing to push you out or don't know the input for push blocks. That can be a way for an intermediate player to just make it a 10-0 matchup against a beginner player. And I think it is related to gimmicks, but I see gimmicks more in terms of a lack of knowledge on the part of the person actually performing it. I guess a lack of knowledge. So if you've got a mix-up that you find that isn't really good in the long run, but you don't realize it, maybe you keep using it because it catches people off guard, but eventually people catch on and it turns into a liability when you use it. Whereas these kind of roadblocks for beginners, I think, are more about holes in the defender's knowledge. Or the victim, I don't know. It doesn't have to be on defense either, I guess.
I think that it's interesting that you pointed out that poor offensive options are chump checks in the sense that repeating them when they'll quite obviously be punished by stronger players is it's I think that's what do you say? It's salient.
I mean, if responding to Cobalt, I think if you avoid thinking of it in terms of a meme, the higher level of play you go to, the more you can see everything as a potential chump check, depending on whether someone's willing to deviate from a game plan. Like if they're using the exact same strategy every single time, then that means they're predictable, and if your knowledge matches theirs, then you're going to have a counter to that. And so if they're not able to vary their options, then it is just a chump check. It's just, can you find the counter?
Yeah.
It's difficult to separate strong options that are easy to execute, like flush step, beat extend, from something that's like a very definite chump check, like doing a block string into like pummel horse, where I can see how for new players getting caught by pummel horse all the time would be like something that they really struggle with.
Or like conchos and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but like Mike Z makes concho work at a very high level. He just does concho over and over and over again. Like, is that a chump check? I don't really know. It's very hard to separate those ideas.
It's just an
Because it loops around. It's like if you're of the mindset that something that can be punished reliably won't happen because you believe that the other person isn't willing to do those things, then it becomes an unexpected thing that and Mike has a good sense of unpredictability, so he can abuse the fact that people expect conchos from him. He can also abuse the fact that people don't expect concho because it's unsafe.
Oh shit. I feel like, okay, let me come clear on where I learned the term, because I feel like that might help explain it better. Like, I learned that term from like playing Melee a lot, and there are so many things in Melee. There are like some strong execution tests, like in Melee there's ledge dashing, and Jedi can probably help explain it better than I can. But like checking somebody's ledge dash if they have proper invincibility with like a in place attack is like, that's a chump check. They're checking to see if you can execute the ledge dash, and if you don't, then you mess up and you get hit and you die. That's more like things that if the other guy executed well, they wouldn't be a factor and they wouldn't exist. But because the other guy isn't executing properly, or sometimes like isn't doing the proper defensive technique in a certain scenario, like again, like going back to Melee, like if somebody doesn't hold down when Fox shines them near the edge, then they get set up for an easy shine spike and they die at like 0. Like, that's a chump check. And if you don't execute the proper defensive countermeasure to a certain technique that the other guy is just doing to you, that would be a chump check. Like, that's kind of where the term comes from. So I like when I say something is a chump check, that's kind of the background that I'm using. Like, you're executing something in a certain spot where if I was better at it, I would just delete that option. But because I mess up sometimes, because everybody's human, that ends up working even though it shouldn't. And that's kind of where the chump check idea comes from. I just wanted to kind of put that out there just so everybody understands what exactly I mean. And sometimes I mean about it, sometimes I don't. But that's kind of what I mean, yeah. I don't know how much they added to that discussion specifically. But, like, I guess in terms of, like, actual mix-ups, flash step beat extend, I feel like the way that Mao does it is a chump check because it is always a cross up, and I feel like it's reliably reactable. At least if you like, you can pin down like there's some spots where it's a pure mix up, but sometimes like when he's doing a ground string on you and he does flash step into beat extend, that's always going to be cross up always. so you can react. You can just wait on the ground. If you see double transform like that, because it's very distinct animation, you can very easily see that, and if you're ready for it, you can reversal it and then punish her really badly for it. Sometimes even getting a happy birthday, depending on the assist and whatnot, and your reversal. So that's like, I feel like the ground flesh step beat extend is a jump check, and the fact that like if the other guy had the reactions alongside like a decent prediction, but like you should be predicting that stuff to some degree anyway, because that's like one of the options that double has for ground mix-ups. It's like if you could react to it and you execute your reversal in time, then they would never really work, right? Because you always punish the flesh step, and B extend doesn't affect you unless there's a reversal that does. But like, yeah, that's kind of what I think. Like sometimes the stuff like Concho, it can be a mix-up, or it can be like a mind game thing where you just don't think he's gonna do it, and then he does it anyway. Like it comes around like in the Yomi layer sort of thing, I think. But yeah. Sorry if I'm being rambly. I'm just really tired from today.
I think you've quite well explained the idea of a chump check, but I don't really think this has that much to do with. I mean, that's like one aspect of it, right? Of like what causes new players to quit. It's not just because they're getting, quote unquote, chump checked all the time.
So is this like just about what causes people to quit, or is it
what
prevents
causes
them
what?
from reaching certain levels? Or...
I think it's things that cause players to plateau, and I think that it's those plateaus in relationship to player fall off.
Yeah, I mean, like if you want to specifically say just quit, then the list becomes a lot narrower, and I think the discussion becomes a lot less interesting. Plateauing can be alongside it. I guess we can talk about specific players who have plateaued and quit in the past as like a direct example. I'm not sure.
Well.
So what are some ideas of what makes people plateau?
Like I said, like I feel like I don't necessarily have like a great idea because I haven't been in that position for a long time. But like, I guess I can refer to Newt, where Newt used to be. Newt was the up and coming star that everybody was afraid of, that would get really really good really quickly. And CM and I were discussing him ages ago, and CM was afraid that he would plateau. And then Newt like he like just played his friends. He didn't really play any of us. Holy shit. He didn't really play any of us that regularly, and when he did, it was like it would be on Wi-Fi or whatever, and he would do the same things over and over and over again, and eventually like it just stopped working, and he never really adapted and kind of fell off because of that.
Well, actually, no. Newt had a health problem, hence why he couldn't play so often, and it was really hindering his play. That was one of the main factors of Newt.
Ah, yeah, true.
That's well, everything else still applies, but I know for a fact that being in school, because he was still in high school, so he had all that crap and all the things you said on top, and also I don't know what his health condition was, but he would mention it from time to time. Sometimes I get headaches too often, that kind of stuff, and he can't look at the screen. So that was why he fell off. But yeah. It's quite sad to see Newt go, but it happens, and I think everyone has different plateaus. I think one thing we can try and think of is how to keep the retention, I suppose. Like, how do we know when someone's reached it, right? Like, maybe some people just drop off without us knowing, and then by the time we notice, it might be like a few weeks later, and they just don't want to come back or something. Like, how do we know if someone's really plateaued, is my question.
I think that one good indicator of plateaus are problems with specific matchups. Like, Yoma might not be able to connect with very beginning players, but he certainly understands the idea of a plateau in relationship to a specific matchup. And I mean, that's been my plateaus that I've come across within like the last, I suppose, like 8 months of learning the game, 7 months of learning the game. Is that like I'll get to a point where it's like, okay, I've worked through like my previous problems, whatever they were, but like There was a time where I just felt like I couldn't do anything against Misfortune because she was always outmaneuvering me, and I didn't really understand how I was going to combat her in the air. It always felt like I couldn't effectively throw like dead crosses at her. So it was like specific. It was a really specific matchup that caused a lot of problems. I know for a fact that new players really struggle against big bands. New players really struggle against Peacock players, and those are probably the two biggest characters that like brand new fighting game players struggle with because they're really unorthodox in terms of like how you combat them versus how you go about your average matchup.
Yeah, they're kind of requiring a certain level of nuance in your approach to the game, which isn't there as a beginner. Like as a beginner, you're focusing on how do I get a hit with crouching light kick? How do I finish my combos? How do I block ever? Sort of things, and having to like go through the bullet hell where you have to be patient at some time and really quick to take the opportunity when you see it. They just don't have the base level to really play that kind of game, I don't think.
Okay, so I guess specific matchups where you have to like learn stuff. I guess is like a one of those blocks that might cause newer players to quit. And I guess we can tackle the second part of the question as well, right? Like how do active players avoid / work through those things? In the Peacock and Big Band matches, I can't speak to that. They like I feel like I had that issue, and then I like watched a lot of videos and talked to a lot of people, and then kind of realized like, okay, the way to fight Peacock's far range is to get through the projectiles, and how do you do that? And then you learn how to move through them, and all that sort of stuff. Where you go, okay, if she does bomb into bomb, then what are my character's options to beat that? Like, can I move through it? Can I just invul through it? What are the options that I can do? Like Big Bang, if I'm playing Big Bang as Peacock, I can just heavy brass and that sort of stuff goes away. If I'm playing Beowulf, I can just do arm super and that sort of stuff goes away. If I'm playing Philia, I can air dash through in the middle of the two bombs, and that kind of I avoid that. Like stuff like that is a thing, and I guess it ultimately at that point comes down to putting in the effort into it, like learning the matchup. Having resources always helps, and in OCE personally, we felt that I feel like we do a decent enough job of being able to help new players with stuff like that. Like if people go, I don't really understand this matchup, what am I supposed to do? I feel like all of us to some degree, not again, to some degree are like able to provide assistance to at least a basic level where people go, okay, now I kind of understand what I should be doing in this scenario. Which is what we can do to help newer players in that regard.
Following on from that, I think one of the other roadblocks is kind of related in that we can help people at a basic level with kind of answers generally about how to approach matchups or answering specific questions, but giving them enough of a boost that they can actually beat the person that they're trying to beat, which is usually someone who's played for years and is that many levels above them, is kind of hard. Like, having them actually get the results from whatever improvements they're getting, even with us providing resources, is pretty hard. Like, you look at Cobalt, he's been putting in effort, asking questions, getting advice, but he's still having that problem of, I'm not getting the results I want.
Yeah. Yeah, but
You have to-
but
you
for
can't have-
sorry, go ahead.
You can't fall into the trap of comparing your results to other people, because it's not reasonable. Like, I think I have like 400 hours in the game right now, something close to that. It's not reasonable for me to expect to beat somebody like, I don't know, Cloud or Rabble Flaggers, who's got probably like 3,000 or 4,000 hours. And it's frustrating because I'll play against those guys, and I'll play long sets with them or whatever, and it's been a while since I've played long set with Cloud, but I'll lose 20 games in a row or something like that, and that sucks. It doesn't feel good to lose 20 games in a row. You don't feel like a good player when you're losing 20 games in a row, but you take a step back and you think of like, I mean, who have I lost to that's got 400 hours in the game? And it's just like hardly anybody, and that feels really great. I'm a better player than I was yesterday, and it's
The
hard
reverse.
to.
The reverse of that is how many like people on 400 hours are beating us on like 5,000. That doesn't feel good.
Let me check my hours and let me see the score between me and Age right now. Let me check that. 744. Age, how much is yours, buddy?
Keep in mind, I have like the vanilla hours on Xbox, and
Yeah.
I think I'd probably be up like 3,000.
This is not even including beta. Let me check beta actually. Where's beta? Beta is 480, retail is 744. So
Oh
yeah.
damn! My retail is at 2,700.
Damn.
Jesus.
And this is like you played a lot of beta at the time as well. How much is your beta?
I'm trying to find it. Uh, 450, and then I
Really?
would have had at least 1,000 in vanilla.
That's actually
Probably
really low in
1,500.
in beta. Did you not play much beta or something?
I don't know. It seems lower than it should be.
Yeah, 450 hours is not that much. I mean, this doesn't include me like offline labbing when I used to take my laptop to uni in like first and second year. Because I wouldn't do online labbing in that for some
But
reason.
this all relates to like you're trying to improve, and maybe you are getting objectively better, but maybe you don't feel like your results are matching what you want your results to be. Not
It's a big
necessarily
problem, especially
you're as
in a
good as
small
everyone else.
scene.
Oh yeah, certainly. Like it's like in a scene of 12 people, all the 12 people are like at least to some degree are putting in effort into the game, you know. And then if you try to compare yourself to that directly, it doesn't really work out.
Well, we play each other so often, we know what each other's going to do half the time. But
Yeah.
we're playing around that fact. So it's I mean, a bit tricky, but I feel we can still, extract something out of it.
Yeah.
I got
Also-
about 2,000 hours in Skullgirls now, and I don't feel like I'm where I should be with those 2,000 hours, but I'm not sure what that problem is. If it's just I don't know the matchups that well because I don't really pay attention to what I can do in certain matchups, like against Squiggly. Like, I still haven't really figured out how to rush her down with her having beat extend online. And I don't have much matchups against Parasol. Before it was Philia, right? Remember how I complained about Philia?
Yeah.
But I was beating Demise still kind of the same like what it was before, and Kobe plays Philia, but I get reset at once by Kobe's Philia, then after that I'm pretty much fine. So I'm not too sure if that's me understanding the matchup better, or if that's just something on Kobe's side, or if I just know Kobe well enough. But I think how I plateaued was just I didn't really pay attention to the matchups. So I know what my characters do, I know what the players do, but I never really paid attention to what their characters do beyond the fundamentals, right? And I still try and study that as well. So I think how I stay above the rest, where I can still be 4th or 5th in Rambats, is because I still study that, like I'm still learning that specific character matchups, which I didn't before, and I was real bad when I didn't know that, because I was just doing my shit, and it was very obvious I was only doing my own stuff. I was playing the 1-player game, and not actually playing the 2-player game where your opponent knows what you do as well. So I think once I came past that, and I was learning the matchups, and I could see the benefits, I was like, yeah, I can see myself being better tomorrow, and that's what kept me going. I think, thinking back on it, maybe this is something the newer players struggle with as well, because I mentioned it last podcast. I think I try to simplify it in 3 steps. Right, you learn you learn the basics of the game, you learn your characters, and then you learn your opponent's characters. Right, and I think the final step is the hardest because that's just as much homework as you did learning your characters. Right, especially if they have character specific. So. It would be interesting to know if anyone has that kind of problem like I did, where they just found learning every other matchup, especially in this versus game where most of us play trios, right? If that's something they had problems with, we could focus on it.
I think that like learning matchups is, I never found it that big oftentimes, because like I would learn like generalities in a matchup very often, and I would kind of go, okay, like I also learned matchups more through specific not, I just said generalities and specifics. I learned them through situation specifics, like what are the situations I put myself in when I play this character, and how can I like, oh hell yeah, got it. And how would I like deal with the scenario that my opponent puts me in a lot of the time, and then how does my opponent's character fight the scenarios that I put them in, and then I kind of learn it off that. But I wouldn't I didn't learn like what are the resets, like in terms of is this fake, is this real. I guess I learned it to like some degree, but I didn't learn it to the same degree that I would for my own character, you know. Like I didn't when I learned my own character, I learned the matchups of my character versus 14 other characters. But when I learned the opponent's character, I only learned opponent's character versus my characters. I didn't literally learn it the other way, so to speak, you know? Which helps simplify that a little bit. But again, like I feel like a lot of these things end up coming down to just pure motivation. Is if you're willing to put the effort into it, if you're willing to put the time into things, if you're willing to practice mode, if you're willing to search for answers. Ultimately, that's what the problems, all of them, end up being, I feel.
Yeah, and we got to be careful with that because then we're just going to loop back to the previous podcast where I said motivation was a big factor. So we've got to watch.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it's always a motivation factor. Like, well, okay, you put enough motivation into anything, you're gonna get some level of improvement, right? But there are some situations where there's like a physical difference in reaction time, there's a physical difference in dexterity. Like there's still going to be times when there's a player who's just going to be better than you for the same amount of hours put in researching and practicing. And in that case, the plateau isn't necessarily because of just motivation. It can be that you're just as motivated, but maybe you're aiming at this wrong aspect of the game to get the most results, or your game knowledge isn't as deep as it needs to be.
Yeah, I think I can kind of understand that, but at the same time, I feel like OCE is nowhere near at the level where like biological differences are really what are separating good players from not as good. You know what I mean? Like, I feel fairly comfortable saying none of us are at the level of like Sonic Fox, Goichi, and like tons of other really strong players. And to be able to beat those players is like, I wish I had my brain was wired a bit better so I could react in the spot. Like I feel like that isn't what's like. If I was to throw me as an example, like I don't think my pure reaction time is what's stopping me from beating Jedi. You know, like stuff like that. Like I definitely think that game knowledge is a thing, but that ultimately does come down to just being motivated enough to put an effort into learning that. Like if you can just okay, this guy didn't go into me. Like if you just like suck up and just do it, then this you can certainly like you can certainly find time to be able to research things. Like on my current schedule in university, I can only really put in like an hour at worst into a fighting game a day, and even that, like maybe. So what I do is I try to find time between classes, and then like I just watch a match, like not even like maybe not even a full match. I just watch like half a match or something, and then note down, okay, this, and this is what I did wrong. Do I know how to beat that thing? And if I'm not, then when next time I go into training mode, that will be a thing that I would focus on. And then if it's something that I just purely don't understand, I will be willing to find people who will understand it and then teach it to me. Like, I mean, I'm at the level now where I don't need to ask anybody. I can generally understand what I'm doing, or like I understand the game well enough to where system mechanic isn't something that I'm confused by specifically. But there was a very long time where I would just ask CM like all of these questions, and like, hey, I don't understand this, I don't understand that, like, and I would get answers from CM, from Fruit, from Shuffle, and all that, and stuff, and you know, but like, I think newer players like, I keep telling this to people, but like a really easy way to improve is just to watch your own matches and see where you get hit. And that, oh jeez, I'm a bit too fast. And the only thing you really need for that is one, to download your VOD, which isn't a biological what do you call it, hindrance. It's, you know, that certainly isn't something that your body can't do. You just, you know, download the video, and then you gotta find a way to watch the video, which again isn't something that you are that, you know, that sort of stuff affects you. And then again, you just gonna find the time and like, you know, write it down on, even on Notepad. Notepad is just good. Like I used to do that. Now I use OneNote because it's a cloud service, which is pretty cool. But like, if you can sit down and just watch and see where you get hit, then it's very easy to be like, hey, I'm getting hit in the spot. Do I know how to beat it? And then if so, then you like, if you understand how to beat it, then you avoid it next time when you're playing. In that scenario, there's different ways to counter things, and if you don't understand it, then you should post in Discord like, hey, this thing keeps happening to me. How do I evade it or avoid it or, you know, punish it or blah blah blah? And we should be able to answer that. So like, that's kind of like a blanket answer that I was thinking about on the way back home, like how I would tackle this in of itself. So yeah.
A lot of fighting games is just learning how to learn.
Yeah.
You can watch VODs all day, but if you don't know what you're looking for, then it won't really do you any good. So while I agree with you that like watching your replays is really key for improvement, you have to first gain the skill to recognize the stuff that you want to see or don't want to see in your replays.
That's why I mentioned that you should watch when you get hit, because that's a really easy way, and it's a very direct way to realize a mistake. Like, if you, oftentimes when you get hit in a fighting game, it's not because they were just a pure 50-50, you just guessed wrong every single time you got opened up. It's often like you messed up somewhere, like even if you got hit by a mix-up, like, there is basically no good fighting game where you get opened up by a mix-up from neutral and there's no way that you could avoid it, you know? And that's certainly like one place that people can look at. And
I would ask yourself if you were at least trying to block when you got hit.
Yeah, even that, or like not even like, if you got exposed, like if you get hit by a mix-up, you can think, okay, I got hit by this mix-up, could I had like, how did I end up in the spot? Like, and then you can try to find like things like the different mistakes that led up to that spot. Like, it's like when you get hit by a mix-up or whatever, it's never just because I got opened up by this mix-up. There's always stuff that leads from it. That like, I gave up space too much, and then the other guy got in at me, and then they hit me with a mix-up. Like, then you can learn, then that's the thing you can work towards. Like, okay, if I got hit by this mix-up because I walked back too much, maybe this time I'll like do a poke, like in a Street Fighter example or something like that. Of course, like, that is definitely like a skill you have to cultivate, the watching your videos skill. but I think that at its very basic level, like I want to cite myself as an example. Like I used to do that when there are 4-year-old videos of me trying to analyze myself, and then just going, okay, I got hit by this. Why did I get hit by this? Like it's because of X, Y, and Z. And this is way before I feel like I was at the level I am currently at analyzing my videos and other videos and stuff like that. So like I feel like maybe it's just an intrinsic part of my personality or something, but I feel like it's not. The initial hump isn't something that you necessarily need to start training that. Like you can just start now and then you'll get better at it. It's just being able to find the time and being able to suck up the loss, really. Like if you lost a really close match and you go, I don't really feel that great about losing that match, and then you can like work towards, okay, why did I lose that match, and then you work on that and sort of stuff. Some people are really bad at that. Like some people they can't handle the fact that they lost, and that's just that's another that's a motivation thing. Like do you like, of course losses sting, but do you feel like not letting that happen strongly enough that you will initially suffer through the pain of watching yourself lose? And yeah, I don't know how to end that. I feel like I've been rambling like a little bit, so sorry.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, you gotta choose. Do you want me to ramble or you to ramble?
I don't know, dude.
The lesser of two evils.
Yeah, it's rough. But like that's the thing that like kind of confused me about this topic, was like there's several things we can mention, and like player matchups are really annoying, character matchups are really annoying, not being able to hit your combos is really annoying, getting opened up constantly is really annoying, getting zoned up by Peacock is really annoying, getting mixed up by Big Band is really annoying at full screen, and there's so many things that you can immediately mention at every point that are really annoying to new players. Like zoning is annoying, grappling is annoying, combos are annoying. Like you look at scrub coats and all that, that's all you see. But then it's like, what are the ways that, at least that I work through those sort of things, is just I just realize that I'm bad at a game, and then I realize what I need to do to not be as bad the next day. And
It's I think that it's just a mentality thing, that you can't let your losses get to you. You have to just push forward, and that's like the real reason to play fighting games, is to like put that mindset into you for other parts of your life, that you need to look to see what you can do to get better and take responsibility for your own betterment.
Talk's supposed to a long message, but I can't read it because it's not showing up properly in the text chat on stream. So, holy shit. That was not on me. This guy just rammed into me. That was stupid. This guy can't see anything. That was dumb.
So we'll just tick off one here. There we go.
Stupid idiot.
Alright, good job on Tox for actually trying to like keep things coherent, keep us focused on the subject at hand.
Yeah, cheers, boss.
Okay, for me personally, one thing that I struggled with when I was new was beat extend. And like, I mean, everything that comes with it, like playing against it. Well, basically just playing against it, I suppose. Like, constantly trying to go in and getting scooped by it. Because it's quite different from pretty much most of the fighting games, right? Like, most of the fighting games don't have reversal assists. It's not like if you like start a block string on someone, you're not going to get scooped, usually. So I think that's like a big thing that takes getting used to. And you know, there's two ways to sort of go about beat extend, right? Like you can either just get good at the game and then play around it, or you do what I did and you just pick it yourself and you
can
fight
beat it or join it.
fire.
That's it.
Yeah. If you can't beat them, extend them.
I can't believe you said that.
I didn't come up with that age group.
Ah, real? Okay.
Well,
I can't believe Aid
kudos,
said. I
Aid has
can
gone,
totally
like-
believe Aid said that. He's a dweeb.
It's fuck you, Freshie. Freshie said in the chat that was so cringy, OMG.
Well, I mean, are they wrong?
I think that's a godlike phrase. I'm gonna use that.
Oh, so do.
We have caused a great evil upon this world. But yeah, like, yeah. Also, I'm so happy the multitude of talks as emotes are not going to show up in the stream in the text chat over there. I am eternally grateful.
Yeah, Toc's trying to wave that Nitro thing on Discord. Not here. But
Yeah.
I think one thing you should talk about is what Kobe said. He struggles with pressure.
Can I also just ask, who suggested this topic originally? Does anyone know?
I'm not sure. I can go back and look at it. I should go back and look at it. That's a good point.
Whoever suggested originally, we should ask them what they want to know.
That was Kobe. That's funny. It is.
All right, get Kobe. It's time to throw him into the hot seat.
Where is it?
Okay, so for pressure, well, I mean, I made my guide thing, right, and one of the things was how to deal with pressure in Skullgirls. So that's like, if you want to know how to deal with pressure, I suggest reading that.
It's not so much dealing with it. I think Kobe is more like, how do I pressure someone better? Because I think we've touched on it quite a bit. Like, Yoma said in last Rambats, he feels like Kobe just does this reset, and Yoma can just reversal out of it because he reads it every time. I'm feeling the same sometimes as well.
Okay. Well, okay, so Kobe's typing, so maybe we'll get some clarification.
In the meantime, check out my sick drives. Oh shit, I'm low on fuel. Oh no. Where's the next fuel? Oh no. Ah, that's kind of far away. Yee. Yikes.
Well, if you go faster, you use less fuel, right?
There's also what they call a speed limit.
Yeah, but you're gonna run out of fuel if you don't. So, which is gonna be the tow fine or the speeding fine, which is cheaper?
Where is the? There's a way to like see how much fuel you have. Fuel remaining for 250 kilometers. Okay, how far is this, Matt? How far is this thing? He says his net is fine-ish, kind of. Kobe, you should explain what you mean by
Pressure.
yeah. Like, do you mean executing it, or do you mean your deal? Like,
Well, he's typing at the moment, so I'm
Okay.
assuming he's there.
oh, it's pretty lit. I can turn off my light.
Doing it to better players, also the whole not crumbling thing. Okay. I don't know about not crumbling. I think that's something that's going to be personal to you, and I don't know how much I can sort of say about it.
In my experience, it's always been situation awareness. Once you recognize what can actually hit you in a spot, because like, pressure crumbling. That's all. Like, that's one thing that I learned from playing King of Fighters is that in King of Fighters, there's so many ways that somebody can hit you that if you try to account for all of them, then you are just gonna die, right? So the way you dealt with it in King of Fighters is that like somebody's gonna run up and low you, or somebody's gonna run in and hop at you, or somebody's or somebody's gonna like, you know, hit you in the mid range with a mid range poke or something. You have to specifically pick out what you expect to happen, and then it will be a ton easier to deal with it. Like if you expect the squiggly overhead, it will be a lot easier to block / reverse a lot of it. Whereas if you don't expect it, then you'll just get hit by it every single time, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's kind of where, because like in Skullgirls, there's so many. The defensive options in the game are like strong when good players are using them, right? And because of that, you have to. Like what good players do to other good players is throw enough of the kitchen sink at them to where you just kind of confuse them and then they get hit by the stuff. Or you just do solid 50-50s and then you just, you win off the guess or whatever. There are objective ways to improve at pressure. that are like using your assist properly, taking into account push block and how it affects your block strings, and all that sort of stuff is always like you can always get better at that the more you learn about the game. And of course, that's something you can ask about and test because training mode is really good. But as far as objective pressure goes, like, or I guess not necessarily objective pressure, but as far as like once you understand everything and once you have full knowledge of all those things, how do you deal with pressure then is mostly like picking out the certain things that you are afraid of, because there's so many things that can happen. You have to specifically pick out what you are afraid of, and then knowing the counter to it and then executing it. And the same goes the other way. Like the better you want to get at pressure is just being able to throw the kitchen sink at people and just abusing things that the opponent isn't as good at beating. Like if somebody always up backs in a certain spot, then you should learn to beat that up back, and then your pressure is stronger. It's more holistic, and etc.
Something that's really important for new players to think about and not fall into, like it's a pitfall. Maybe it's a roadblock. I'd call it a pitfall. Is thinking that because your opponent has an option that will beat any of your, because your opponent has in total options that will cover all of your character's options, doesn't mean that your opponent as a player is able to equally consider all of those options all of the time. It's really easy to theory fight yourself into a corner by saying, "Oh, well, if I do this, she'll just do that." We've all seen that.
Yeah.
And it's really important to keep in mind that if your opponent is able to consistently answer the things that you're selecting, that you need to step back and think about the things that you aren't thinking about.
Yeah, like I pretty hard agree with all that. Like I said, like if you expect your opponent to do every single thing imaginable, then you're just gonna like clam up and die, and then you can't really do anything. But the more you pick out, like the more you recognize, okay, my opponent is only like, if say there are like 5 options in a certain spot, right? If your opponent is only gonna use 3, then it's easier to control them, and then you kind of go, okay, if they're just using these 3, then I will like take care of the first 2, and in between the first the first 2 and the third, it's a 50-50, so I'll just mix up between that. And that's a lot stronger than having to control all 5 options at the same time and then going, what if they did the 4th one that I can't beat with any of my options? Then you have to, figure that out. And that's kind of where good play starts and all that, but that's kind of not what we're here to talk about. But yeah.
I think I know how I can convert this into advice for Kobe with this thing said, right? I feel like one of the things, well, I don't know what Kobe thinks while playing against me, but how I feel is Kobe's very scared of my alpha countering, right? The second you put me in block stun, I have 2 characters on my team that can punish you heavily for it. And I feel like Kobe is very cautious around me, but I really don't respect Kobe's pressure because I know he's going to try and bait me, or he's just not really going to force me. The only time Kobe's ever been scary is when he throw resets me, right? And of course you'll throw reset me because if you put me in block stun, you risk getting punished for it, right? Well, at least that's what the team does. I feel like if Kobe had 50-50 air burst baits, where it's like, is it an air throw or is it a burst bait? He'll probably do a lot better against me because I actually have to now sort of expect that rather than a high-low or high-low throw. It's now a 50-50 burst bait or throw. And he never does that. If he did, I now have a lot more things of what he does that I have to look out for now, and he can just compact his pressure into that just simple, do I want to burst him or do I want to throw him? And the risks are quite low. What I'm going to do, take his throw, so okay, back to neutral. Fortune feral edge, it's like, okay, well, you got hit, you just hold that. What else have you got to be afraid of? So I think that's maybe something Kobe doesn't think about in the grand scheme of things. So if you want something to do this weekend, maybe make some air burst baits, which you can mix throws in. Because I know both Parasol and Philia can do it, and you got those two, so we can help you with the resources, and you can fight me later and see how it goes.
Cool. Got it. But yeah, yeah, that's a good way to I keep saying the word objectify or whatever, but like, that's a good way to put into reality what like a hypothetical means, I guess.
Oh yeah, and Freshers, you never heard any of this, so don't bother. You know, just forget.
Just go back to playing your 5 teams or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Right on, brother. I got 12 hours to go, buddy, on this road trip. I'm pretty happy. But yeah, I feel like we covered that pretty decently. If anybody has anything else to talk about, or we can ask, like, other people what causes them to quit or drop off, or what they see as roadblocks in their improvement. Now's the time to pop in for other people.
I would say that one of the key things, especially in a small scene, is to just communicate really frequently with what you're having trouble with. Almost everyone in a small scene is going to be interested in retaining you as a player. So if you present to players the things that you're having trouble with, they're very likely to help you work through them. And if they don't know the solutions, then they're going to be they're going to be perhaps even more driven to find an answer because they need them too.
Yeah, that's quite true, actually. I think most of the time when we were asking questions about squiggly stuff, Mel just jumped right into the lab and labbed it all because he was also curious. So we definitely have the drive to help if anyone's curious, because either we already know the answer and we tell you, or you bring us an answer we don't even know ourselves and we're more driven to find out. And then once we find out, we tell you.
I never really imagined that you could be so over analytical. Well, I mean, like, it's you can play casually or competitively, right? Like, if you took like my example here, I'm just playing on a keyboard with the arrow keys. I'm pretty sure somebody who's like a fanatic of driving simulator games is gonna be like, you're playing like a pleb, you're not using your retarders or something. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's just a thing that, like, you know, something that people like to dive into and all that. What the?
Analysis paralysis is definitely a thing in fighting games, and it normally comes from you overthinking the situation or maybe not being experienced enough. I used to have a lot of that, where I just freeze up. I'm doing my pressure, and then I just freeze. I'm like, I knew what I was going to do, but then I second guessed myself. Then I second guessed myself the third time, and then I just froze, right? And I lost because of it. And it comes back to understanding that your opponent doesn't, well, even though they have the means to have all of these options that may beat you, they may not be considering it at that point in time because they're already looking at these specific things. It's a thing as a fighting game player that you just have to accept that your opponent is not superhuman, which might sound silly to say, but there are people that just feel like that the person they're fighting is a literal god and they'll never beat them. That's something that you have to sort of understand that that's not true.
Well, sorry for dipping out for the last couple of seconds. My parents were calling me, but yeah, caught a bit of that thing shuffle. Yeah, pretty heavy. Agree. Yeah.
I'm eating meatballs and noodles at the moment.
Ah, yeah. I had noodles today too. They were spaghetti. It was like spaghetti, but they made it into noodles. It was pretty bad, but it was pretty good. I would have rather just gone down to the local takeaway and just got something like mee goreng or some shit. That'd have been tight. But I was stuck here eating like Indian Chinese food or Indo-Chinese food or whatever.
Oh, someone's got the hiccups?
That's me. Alright, so what else do we need to talk about?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a holistic thing of like things that make newer people quit. So I guess it is up to the newer players to say what does make them quit or what is their roadblock, because like it's not necessarily that like I can't like I guess like I said like I can't really explain what makes newer people quit, because I don't have the level of perspective anymore, you know. Amy, all right?
It's a hard.
Yep.
It's a hard generalization to make, but I think that a lot of the most broad ideas were covered.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like a lot of them have a really broad solution. It's just, you know, be motivated and look for answers and then implement them and then execute
Hey,
and win.
I supplied a solution, buddy. A real hard one.
All right.
And now I don't look forward to facing Kobe now because he'll probably beat me.
All right.
But if Kobe beats me, does that mean I can take credit for it?
Sure.
Hell yeah.
You beat me, but only because I allowed you to.
Yeah,
I
so
enabled you to beat me.
yeah, it's a partial credit, right?
Sure.
It's
Hell yeah.
something like the idea of a scene to begin with is that you want your region to be strong, so you make everybody else in it strong.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we have to do, really.
I mean, yeah, like I can't expect newer players to show up, like new players to just drop down every 2 weeks and be able to beat me or whatever.
Oh,
You should
man,
go drink
it's
some
me.
water, Jedi.
Yeah.
We have to clone Jedi.
Nah, I'm good on like playing like not playing five squid bends in bracket.
Oh shit, we're getting a lot of them, aren't we?
I'm pretty keen on that shit.
I beat Clawmaster 3-0 in online tournament today.
I feel like he isn't that good. He's gonna hear it and be really sad, but from what little I watched of it, I wasn't that impressed. Like,
I'm just surprised because I hear that name. I've heard his name before, probably because I was looking at Squig Band footage and I was
Yeah.
kind of like, oh wow, this is like an established player.
He's been around for a bit. He was definitely like when you'd read like Skullheart or whatever, back when people read Skullheart, not so much the case anymore. He was definitely like a prominent person in that, like, you know, at least somewhat prominent. Like, yeah, Squeak Band is pretty cool. And then 159 man showed up with A-Train, and he was one of the most notable supporters of like, yo, A-Train is really good, like, guys. And I was like, I don't know. It's alright. Maybe not. Oh, almost.
Yeah, Claw Master, who listen to this, feel free to beat up Yeoman the first to 10 to organise it.
Not in that connection. I would rather fly there and play him rather than playing that.
Doesn't
shit,
now
yeah.
have a decent connection to the US?
He's got it better than me. I don't have that good internet. At least for cross country.
I mean, I've been fighting some of the Japanese players, and once you get over the delay you have to put on, it's not too bad.
That's why I quit
just played
DBFZ,
against
is because I
Freshest.
didn't want to do that.
I just played against Freshest and it was actually quite nice. It was way better than I expected it to be.
I mean, like, my threshold for dealing with lag is way lower than any of you guys, I think.
I mean, that's totally legitimate.
So, yeah. What did he say? I know there are players who tend to learn a game or leave a game if the player base is small, especially for example, Quick Match instead. I'll go and play SF instead. Lol. Yeah, I mean, Demise did that to some degree. Like, he was complaining about how if he posts in looking for games and he doesn't get a response in like a couple of minutes, he feels kind of bad about it. And then in Street Fighter, he can just do that. That's not necessarily something that he can just remedy that easily, other than just gain a better tolerance for not getting a match immediately, lol, or something. Like,
I mean, you get a higher quality of match with a player of like a small community game. Games with small player bases. The quality of matches that you receive is higher, I think.
Yeah, I think so, but at the same time, like, he can get that in Street Fighter regardless, you know what I mean? Like, just because Street Fighter just is a bigger game.
Well, it's something like I can go on quick match. People still play quick match in America, right? But I get paired up with people that are just don't know anything. Like a lot of these quick match games, I get. You sure I can get them, but like people don't know anything. I don't really learn much. I would much rather play against somebody that I know is good, but I still have to go through the uncomfortable situation of like messaging somebody specific
Mm-hmm.
for games because like the Skullgirls community in America is a lot larger, so it's something like if I go on to the match request channel in the international Discord, then I say, oh hey, is anybody looking for a match? Like it's way higher chance that just a bad player will respond to me. I won't be able to play with somebody that I would like to.
Right. Yeah.
And if I was in Oceania, then I could probably I could easily message any of you guys and be like, hey, let's play Skullgirls, and you guys would be like, yeah, sure. And I could post in the hell, if you post in the requesting match thing, then it's if there's 15 people that play your game, then there's 5 people that are like really really good, then it's like a 30% chance that the person that responds to you in the looking for match channel is going to be somebody that's really good at the game.
Yeah.
That's significant. The chances of that are way lower in a game where there's more players.
Yeah. I feel like that might be somewhat skewed because the international Discord isn't necessarily full of the strongest players ever, which is the most PC way I could really say that. But like, I guess the thing with that sort of thing is that like in America, like because the scene is so big, the top player communities are so much more fragmented than everybody else. Like, I'm certain Sonic has like a special Discord that nobody, like no gym can get into. You know what I mean?
They might not even be on Discord because it could be exclusive enough to just be like a text message thread.
No, they do voice
Just
calls
other
and stuff.
friends or
So they do like
Yeah.
voice calls all the time. So I'm guessing it's like a certain Discord.
Okay.
Could be
I
Skype.
mean-
You don't really know.
Do you really want to be on a furry Discord, Yoma?
I
I
mean,
didn't know you were into that. Maybe I should let Risky know.
all right. That's funny. Omega lol or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, please validate my joke.
You're really funny and cute. I'm sure your girlfriend loves you.
Okay, I think you're going a
like
bit
the
too
idea
far
of-
with the cute part.
I think the idea of Sonic Fox being in a secret furry Skullgirls Illuminati Discord is pretty funny.
Look,
I mean,
You
you
passed
think
it off
that
as a
His
crap
name is just I'm gay.
yeah, like you passed off as a crap joke, Yoma, but I bet you that shit's real. Like, you know how many furries
I'm
are
not
in
saying
this
it. I'm not
community?
saying it as a joke. Like I can totally see a world like that. I'm just saying that like, I mean, I didn't imply that I would necessarily want to be in it, or at least the part of the Discord that isn't Skullgirls matches or something. Like, I don't follow Sonic Fox, and there's a pretty big reason why. Even though I like the guy, generally. So, yeah.
Is it because he doesn't play big band? I think we're seeing something.
Maybe. Risky is included, so that's good. Hell yeah, brother. How far am I willing to go to get good? Well, I mean, I'm not willing to travel to get good, so that means not a lot. Like, as far as get good is concerned,
that's not true. Like you can't say that you're not willing to do a lot because you're not willing to travel, because travel's really expensive, dog.
no, that's what I mean. Like, if you were willing to do everything that you could, then you would travel to America. Like, you would be spending that money. Like, I
Just because
physically.
you're not willing to do everything, like, okay, so if there was a major that you could go to for like 200 or 300 USD,
Okay.
I would imagine that you would go to something like that. But instead, it's going to cost you like 2,000 or 3,000 USD. That's pretty significant. There's not a whole lot of people that would even pay $300 to travel somewhere to play a game that they could play online.
And
Like-
and to that I say I don't think they want to be the best that much. Like, it's just a way. Like, I'm sure this comes off incredibly harsh, but that's just what I think. Like, if you're willing to be the best, then you will do everything in your capacity to do so. And I don't do that, even though like I do everything that I can with that is short of traveling, or not even that. Like, I don't even put in the amount of hours that I could to theoretically be able to You know, like if you want to be the best at like a fighting game, for instance, like let's say just fighting games because it's easy, you would like if you just want to be the best, you want to put in 100% of everything you can, then you wouldn't have a job, you wouldn't have anything, you would just sit in your home and play and practice and grind until you could do everything and beat everybody. And I think if you say that you want to be the best, then you either have to put restraints on that statement by saying that you're not willing to do X, Y, and Z, which is fair that you do so. But then you also have to realize by doing that you don't put in as much effort as what is physically possible or financially possible or any of those. Like if I really did want to be the best at Skullgirls that much, I would actually travel to Combo Breaker. I would try to make it easier on me by asking in the fundraiser thing that they do for European players. Or they did for European players, where they got Zanaif crowdfunding money so he could go. Like I would apply for that, and if I couldn't do that, if people didn't like me, which is fairly reasonable, I would get a job so I could travel. Like there are things that I can do that would physically allow me to do so. I would get like a decent paying job. I would drop out of school, and then I would just play Skullgirls in the time that I don't go to school.
But I think it's pretty reasonable to say that you're very serious about getting better at the game, as long as it's not at significant cost to the rest of your life.
I mean, I don't mean to say that those statements aren't congruent to each other. I just think that when people say I'm willing to do everything it takes, I feel like they should be they should be either putting those restraints or really do go the extra mile. Like again, like try to go back to a melee example, like Leffen, for example. He does do everything that he can. He plays net play. He travels to America. He did travel to America even when he wasn't sponsored, and he went to America like all the time. And he puts in tons of effort and does a lot of labbing, and then that's how he got to be one of the best. Like he didn't do that by going, I can't really travel. I'm just gonna sit at home and play online. In his game, he really couldn't until very recently. But even still, like, there are reasonable sacrifices to be made that I don't do, and I'm not trying to make it a sob story or anything. It's just a way of how it's going.
I don't think that you're being particularly obstinate about it, but like saying that you aren't willing to drop out of school, that would be a pretty extreme thing to do to get better at a game, because you're really putting all your eggs in one basket. And I think that anybody that's dropping out of school, like university, to play Skullgirls, they're retarded.
Well, I mean, yes, like there isn't any money in it. It's not financially viable. But at the same time, like if people really want to do that, then they should do that. Or
no, they should not do that. Dude, don't tell people they
should
do that. They should not do that.
You get what I mean.
Yeah.
Like they should be putting in as much like they should be quantifying what they can and cannot do, and then base their improvement track on the restraints that they have put upon themselves. And that's a pretty good detour. That was pretty nice. It's big proud. I've never really said anything like that in a public forum, so pretty happy.
What, you mean like leave university to go play Skullgirls? Yeah, that's a pretty wild take.
I mean, I'm not saying that I will do that. There's never a possibility that I would do that for the biggest fighting games of all time, or even like not even fighting games. Like, if you wanted to take financial security into account, you wouldn't really do that for any esport, because there are simply no. What the fuck is this guy doing? There's simply
Discord immediately, so I can go learn how to play cricket. I'm dropping out of school.
Not even that. Like cricket doesn't pay that much. You would do
cricket's stable.
It's
unlike esports.
Yeah,
you
but
play
like
cricket until you're like 50.
Yeah, true.
Like fucking cricket, you can just train for like a few days a week, and then you're up. You hit the ball, you run. You can have your mates carry you. When the Indians come out to play, it's pretty much a free game because they pretty much suck at cricket. Hence why we beat them all the time. It's
true,
a cruising trip.
True, you're right.
But for esports, I would not even like. If someone came up and sponsored me, I would already have a backup plan, because they'll probably drop your ass. Like once they're like, oh, you performed very, very well. You came first in every tournament, but
we don't have enough money for you. Sorry.
We could have someone else.
Yeah, like take same thing JDCR for example. Like they were doing incredibly well after they got sponsored and before they got sponsored, and by EchoFox, and then EchoFox just went, "Sorry, buddy, we don't have any money for you," and they just went, "All right."
But we'll keep your friend Saint though.
No, Saint isn't even part of it. I don't think.
Oh, okay. I thought what happens when JDCR went out first.
I'm pretty sure
In the
both
first
Saint and
one?
GDCI got dropped, but I'm not that sure.
I didn't read
could
much
look it
on
up.
it. I just saw.
But like
Probably-
Justin Wong is still a part of it. You know what I mean? Like stuff like
Yeah.
that.
It's esports is a very wild business ride because it's all supported by advertisement, and I can tell you right now, advertisement is very unstable. I would never
Yeah.
put your eggs into that basket unless you're willing to have more smash.
It's also based on like corporations and how much funding they're willing to do into the marketing of the game, because that's essentially what it comes down to, is they trying to market the game by presenting it as an esport or whatever. But and they suddenly some bigwig 60-year-old boomer, sorry, not even boomer, just a literal baby boomer, can just go, well, this little game isn't making me enough money. I can't buy the 50th yacht that I want to from my daughter's husband's son's some dumb shit. This game is dead. They just have to comply. Like there's nothing that is even remotely stable in esports, you know.
The worst part is, I believe fighting games are still very hard to advertise, unlike first-person shooters and
Yeah,
MOBAs as well. And I'm kind of glad for that, to be honest.
Kobe suggests that a fundraiser for top players would be the dream, and I mean
Skullgirls
certainly
already
off
did do
topic
that.
now.
Yeah,
No, why don't
heavily.
you guys do one for OCE?
Nobody wants to.
Um,
Nobody really wants to. Jedi
It's
Jedi
just
said he
that-
wouldn't really want to, from what I know. I don't know if Age really wants it. I don't want it because it interferes with study. I'm sure
I mean,
Mal.
I'll fucking go, but you lot probably won't want me over there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't give you a single cent. Stupid bitch. You're gonna go over there and you're gonna destroy my reputation by saying that I can't drive a car. And I'm gonna be like, bro.
Oh, yeah,
We
that'd
have
be the
evidence
first
that you
thing.
can't drive a car.
Sorry, what?
We have evidence that you can't drive a car. You're providing us with that evidence right now.
It's a truck that I'm not even driving. I don't understand that.
You don't even have the license for it. Do you even know what the class is for a truck license?
Class 4, I believe?
I'm calling 000 right now.
Oh my days.
He's in Europe, so I think it's a different number.
I don't know what it is in Europe, but in New Zealand, I'm pretty sure it's class 4. I want to look it up actually now. Now I'm really, really curious. Where is it? Truck driving license NZ. Heavy vehicles NZ Transport Agency. Practical test provider, blah blah blah. Full license. Okay, class 2. Okay, heavy vehicles. Class 2 medium rigid vehicles. Class 3 medium combination vehicles. I'm guessing this is like a small truck or something. A small truck with like a trailer attached. Class 4 is a heavy rigid vehicle. And Class 5 is a heavy combination vehicle. What I think I'm driving here is a Class 5. I'm pretty sure I'm a Class 5 in this.
He's looking up the license class that he needs to drive a...
The truck, well, he drives the truck in question.
Well, for
I'm very clearly not driving the truck because I'm sitting at my home talking to you guys on the internet. Which would be incredibly difficult if I was inside a video game driving a truck. So,
But you would think that a game that's a simulation of real life, you would actually learn this shit before you actually drive the truck.
you would think that, but the game didn't ask me for it. So,
Do you have to get your license in this game?
no. You just sign up and you just get it. You can buy it.
Oh, EU's fucking wild.
You even had to get
Stupid
your license
bitch.
in Gran Turismo.
You have to do like a tutorial, right, or some shit. I don't know. In this game, I just got given the keys and I just went okay. You can the way it starts out, you can like you don't have a truck or a garage at the start, so you can like buy it. You can buy a truck in a garage by getting a loan or whatever, and then you can like pay it off. If you don't want to do that, then you can just do odd jobs for people using their own truck and trailer and stuff. I currently own my own truck and I don't have a trailer, so I just borrow other people's trailers and then use that. I can probably buy my own trailer with the money that I have, but I don't want to because it's really expensive. So that is the state of this game for me. So.
ETS.
All right. So we've done that thing where we kind of just went off track, and now we don't know where we are. And Yoma's probably going to go off track soon anyway.
Stupid bitch.
No, Roadblocks, I think that everything that can be discussed in non-specific terms got discussed.
Yeah.
It's really case by case, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, everybody, like, falls in their own pitfalls, you know? Like, I guess we can talk about, like, I can talk about me, I guess. What took me a lot of time and effort was oftentimes just, like, not being motivated enough to put in the effort, like way before, like, I can talk about Squiggly. Like, every time I used to see Squiggly, I just go, well, fuck this, I'm not going to beat it, so what even is the point? And that became so toxic in my, like, every time I played bracket, I just went, I don't want to do this to myself. Every time I play, like, I want to play the game to have fun, and if I'm not going to have fun, what is even the point? So I dropped out of, like, and, like, took a break or whatever. And, you know, now I don't feel like that anymore. Now that I have a bit of a better game plan against it, then I understand it better, and I go, okay, I feel like I can do this now, so let me try playing again. So that's why I'm back, or to the degree that I am. So I guess for other people specifically, what would have stopped them or had stopped them? For his Jedi, he did mention he hated dealing with beat extend without having it. Now that he has it, he doesn't feel as much anymore. Or didn't feel as much anymore. And then here we are. For Shuffle, you've mentioned the matchup planning and all that. And
yeah, and you know what else comes into that? It's the time constraints as well. I think time constraints is a very big thing, which I think can go very unchecked by many people. You need that time management skill. You need a schedule. You need to outline, like, I want this hour, 2 hours to learn this to improve, right? For me, I used to lab, I think, like 1 hour a day, or watch replays 1 hour a day. Like, I'll choose a day to do that and then analyze. But then I went, maybe I'm not looking for my problem, which is the matchup. So when I went through the replays again, which I spent an hour on, I just specifically looked for these things in the matchup which I may have not seen before. Like, I'll really watch what beats me, what hits me, what seemed unique or I had troubles with. And I think the time's the biggest part. Like, I nearly quit because of it, because I just felt like I had no time to get better at the game. But when I said, I need to manage my time better despite my living conditions, I could still find improvement, which kept me motivated. So the matchup stuff, that comes with time though as well. I mean, I dodged a few Ranbats, but I've actually been playing games regardless, even if they're not the weekly tournaments. And I do see them improvement in that, and I do learn a lot. So that keeps me in the game. But I can definitely see people who think they're busy in life not being able to keep up. And I think, although it's not fully untrue, I would argue that perhaps you're just not using the time wisely enough. I believe it's like FTD said at the start. You're not looking for the right thing. Maybe you can watch all these VODs, but if you're not really paying attention to this crucial detail or this thing you must learn, you're probably just wasting your time at that point, right? Or maybe that's why you feel like you don't have any time, because you're not really using it like you should. And that's something you have to sort of find out for yourself, is how do I need to be more analytical with learning what my problems are and how to improve.
Yeah, it's the good old adage, work smarter, not harder, right?
That's the best way to put it, in my opinion. Like, I'm a very busy person, right? Trying to keep out of poverty and keep my crazy family afloat, right? But I still find time. And if I can still find time, I believe anyone else can. You just really have to make that time useful, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Hard agree.
That's what it comes down to. I know how some people might feel like you just. There are times when you're like, I just can't be asked. I don't feel like playing. But when you have those feelings, then that's really down to yourself, right? You have to ask yourself, why do you feel that way? Because the time you're like, I don't feel like playing, that could be time you could be used to play the game, but you might play another game, right? So that's also another
I've got
thing.
a thing to say about that, but
Yeah.
Jedi, have you been trying to get in?
I mean, no.
Okay.
That's my thing's coming up, isn't it? No, I haven't
Go
been
for
trying
it.
to say anything. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can hear you now, if that's what you mean.
I mean,
I was gonna say that if you don't feel like playing the game, that's okay. It's not a crime to not dedicate all your time to Skullgirls. It's just something you might need a break and you can come back.
but some
The
people
game
might.
isn't going anywhere. Skullgirls 2 isn't due out for another 2 weeks at least. So I mean, you've got at least 14 days that you can learn as much as you need to about the game.
I can't wait for Annie to come out. I've been waiting this whole time. I'm really
2
excited.
weeks?
The fact that Mike said he's actually going to put Annie in the game, I just lost my shit on this.
Oh, is that the new
Yeah.
DLC reveal? Okay.
Yeah, just look it up on my Twitter.
Okay, cheers, bro.
The other thing is about like looking at matches. Your ability to analyze matches is completely contingent on your knowledge of the game. So you might look at your own matches and you might see that people are getting in on your double all the time. You play double and these people are just jumping at you and you get hit and you don't know what to do. And if you might say like, okay, I need to investigate my anti-air options better, right? And then you go into training mode and you press all the buttons that you know how to press and you say, well, I don't know what to use as an anti-air. If you don't go to the move list and figure out that you've got H. Luger, then I mean you'll be clueless forever. That's like a really basic way to not know that you have an option that you do, is to like literally not know that you have a move. But if you are watching a replay, it's important to consider the things that players are not doing as well as things that they are doing, and that's really difficult for new players to consider. Is that good players are always choosing optimal options, and they're doing that by ruling out options that suck. And so you've got to get into the mindset that looking for things that don't show up in high level matches is really important.
Yeah, like it's not always like you can watch like the tippest top of high level play, and a lot of the situations that happen in those matches aren't even situations that will happen in your matches, you know. So
Yeah.
being able to learn that is a very valuable skill as well. Yeah.
My advice to anybody that runs into that problem is that they have a like. One of my early roadblocks was double and double's gun, and I still think that double's gun's fucking insane.
It's pretty whack. Hard agree.
It's one of the best projectiles in any fighting game I've ever played, and I've played a few fighting games.
Bro, Bale
I
can't
put
get
them,
in. She just hits the light loogie. Oh fucking Christ!
I would put double's gun on the level of like
Oh fuck!
Sagat fireballs, in terms of like general overall strength. But if you are watching high level gameplay and you are looking for a specific answer on how to deal with something like double's gun or like Beowulf jumping hard punch, and you see that you're like looking at Valentine versus Beowulf, and like the Beowulf player is not using the move that you have so much trouble dealing with. That's probably because there's something that Valentine can do that you aren't considering that prevents Beowulf from abusing that strategy. And so you're going to have to go to either like the international Discord or somebody specific. Like you can ask like the person that played that matchup. If you look up a tuna with bacon, you can almost certainly find that person and ask them directly. Hey, I was watching this match. I have a lot of trouble dealing with this move. When I watch your matches against this character, I don't see that guy doing this move. How do you stop him from abusing that? And going to players that know what they're doing is going to be a core part of learning.
True.
But that ties in a lot with what I said earlier, that just communication is really important.
Yeah.
Telling people what you're having problems with.
Yeah, just like ask stuff. Like you should never feel afraid to ask people stuff, because like there's nobody over here who would give anybody shit for asking a question, you know.
Yeah.
Unless it's shuffle.
I'm actually no fuck. You made me trip on my tongue again. I was gonna say Yoma acts tough, but he's really like a huge softie down inside, so you shouldn't feel scared. Like Yoma's just like, oh yeah, I'll help you, dog, no problem. Even if like in Rambats he's just insulting people left, right, you know. Also, I'm not mean to anyone.
No, I meant what, like you asked me stuff and I just called you a stupid bitch and then move on.
Well, I have like a filter for that. So you say stupid bitch, but I hear the best player in OCE. And I think that's quite a steep thing to say, Yoma, but I appreciate that you support me that way. Speechless, I know.
Truly.
A somewhat recent roadblock that I ran into is feeling like my team wasn't really strong, and
well, we sure fixed that one, didn't we?
Yeah, I sure. I've given up. I've joined a club. I agree with Jedi that if you can't beat them, extend them.
Can't believe it. Are you playing Eliza Ben now or something? Oh fuck.
Yeah. I've decided I'm just gonna play Eliza Band. I don't have to worry. Like, I was telling Shuffle, like, I feel like when I play Valentine Eliza, I gotta do all this fucking thinking. I gotta do all these angles. I gotta think about dead cross angles, like Valentine's approach angles. I'm gonna like have to double jump, super jump forward, double jump backwards, air dash forwards to get the proper dead cross. I'm like, man, I have to think about all these vials that I gotta get, how much meter I'm gonna use throwing out stupid, like, man, that's so much work. You know what you can do? You can air dash at somebody and press jumping light punch, and you can call beat extend, and that's unblockable as far as I'm concerned.
One thing, sorry to cut you, FDD, but Kobe said, finding the, okay, I'm gonna pause and say, finding the questions to ask can be a hurdle, I suppose. If you're too broad, you might get a swamp of information. It's like, yeah, I think one skill to cultivate as a new player is definitely to learn how to ask specific questions. Like, definitely, like,
the more specific you are with your question, the more specific the information you're going to get.
Yeah, like, if you say, hey, how does Valentine beat Beowulf? You're gonna get either shut up noob or a massive info dump that you're not gonna get anything out of, and I'm not sure which one is worse. It's probably the latter, because at least in the former you get exalted or whatever, like you get humiliated, and that's good for your mental health sometimes, but only sometimes, not all the time, only sometimes. But anyway, like when people just ask like, hey, Eliza's really stupid, how do I beat her? I just go, I don't know, man, I just hit the beat extend button, and then they go, I don't have one, and I go, GG, well played. But like, if you specifically ask like, hey, I'm having trouble anti-airing Eliza's jumping medium kick after an air dash, what do I do? And then you can like break down the specifics and go, okay, if Eliza's jumping medium kicking at you after an air dash, then we know that she can't air dash after the jumping medium kick because she's already used it. So it's a bit more committal of an angle, and that you can like try to react to the air dash startup and call your button or something, or you can get out of the range of it, or you can check and block it and call your assist at the when you check and block it. There's like 5 counters I can give you based on the specific scenario. But if you just go, hey man, Fuku's really stupid, how do I beat her? And then you don't get anything out of that conversation, you know what I mean?
Another big thing in Skullgirls is that you gotta realize that sometimes you're just gonna fucking lose.
Hell yeah, brother.
there's gonna be games where like someone's playing like double Fuku against you, and they put you in the fucking blender, and you die, and that's it. And you say, well, what could I have done about that? And the answer is like you could have won neutral, and then you could have guessed better. And even though it's like a cop out answer sometimes, it happens. It's real. Don't let your games where you don't get to play get to you. Maybe let your sets where you don't get to play get to you. If you're consistently losing at neutral, that's a problem. But like, if you play like a best of 3 or something, and you get like hellish mixed by some dude, it just happens sometimes.
I don't know anything about it. But yeah, also Kobe said don't know about that one. I can't remember what exactly it said in relation to.
That getting called a noob because you don't know how to deal with Beowulf's Valentine is more helpful than a massive info dump.
Oh yeah, true. Again, I don't know which one is worse. And
getting called a noob is worse because that doesn't give you anything to work with. A massive info dump will give you something to work with.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
I suppose.
I kind of agree. The massive info dump seems like the better option to me.
For future reference, if I ever ask a stupid question, I would prefer a massive info dump than a quick insult. Anybody that's listening out there, I would.
That's not the thing CM would give you, but that's all good, bro. All good by me. Anyway, I'm down to my second delivery today. Pretty happy. Let's try to park this shit, boys. Oh fuck.
That's great, but when are we going to see dive kick?
Oh, if you want to catch the hands, I can give you the hands, bro. It's all
I
good.
don't have the game, so I can't play. Sorry, but, I would if I could.
Stupid bitch.
How much is dive kick on
I'll
Steam?
probably beat your first try anyway.
You will not. It's $10, $10 US, I think. I think
$5.
$5.
$5.
Really? 5?
Yeah,
That's
but
insane.
is that $5 dues?
I mean, he can't tell
Those are
because
American dollars.
Australia now has their own currency. Like everything is their own money now on Steam.
Oh, okay. It's $7.50 dues for us Australians.
I'm pretty sure for
says
New
so.
Zealand it's $11.99 or $12.95 or something
really?
like that. Yeah, it's actually insane.
Ah, that sucks.
I think
Yeah,
it also
right.
has GST in it. That makes it more expensive, but I'm not sure. But I think Australia also does that, so I'm not sure what's going on. Anyway,
Just get wrecked.
yeah. I actually want to make like a dive kick guide, but that'll come after I make all my Skullgirls guides. So, wait on that, fellas.
What Skullgirls guides are you making?
I want to make an anti-air primer, how to anti-air in Skullgirls, and also want to make like a bunch of match analysis videos that I've already downloaded, and I just want to watch over them and kind of point out stuff. Got several sets lined up already. Some of them interest me, some of them don't.
Alright.
Cool. Perfect. Or, I mean, like, some of them are, like, more personally invested. I'm, like, more personally invested in them. Some of them not so much, but I just want to see them. What are you trying to do? You trying to breathe?
Yes, I'm just breathing.
You should
Anyway,
be-
I gotta go AFK for 15 minutes, so I'll be back by then. But don't go anywhere, young.
I will try not to. I'm really looking
I'm
forward to
looking-
anti-air primer. Alright.
I'm looking for an opportunity to duck.
I mean, you can duck
Sorry.
whenever you want. It's all good.
Okay.
Hold on, don't duck yet.
Okay.
Who were the players that you beat to become the best in Oceania?
Me.
Yeah.
All of them. Everyone.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Who'd you have the most trouble beating?
Well, obviously CM is by far the best person. And
See, I've only heard stories of CM, so I missed out.
Oh yeah, you were before CM was a person.
Yeah.
A force to be reckoned with. So CM was like Valentine, Painwheel Big Band player.
Hmm?
He was far and away the best for like a significantly long time, and then after that he stopped playing for like ages. When did he stop playing? Like 2016ish, I think, something like that. 2017ish, maybe. 2017 seems more right, because you like when you started to pop in Jedi, like I think that's when CM stopped playing as much. I think.
Was there any specific thing that CM did that gave you a lot of trouble?
He was just like way better than everyone else. Like it wasn't a specific thing. He was just good at the game. I don't know.
What was your method of training to be able to beat him? Was it something that you trained for specifically, or is it just?
Yes. Okay, so basically the only time like I don't consider myself better than CM or that like I've surpassed him necessarily, but like I sort of have the title of having defeated him because we played at BAM last year and I won.
Did you beat him in one set or two? I think it was 2 sets, right?
Yeah, he beat me in winners and I reset.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, so basically my set with CM, the whole like week leading up to it, I was like studying the hell out of all of his matches, like specifically watching like what he did and taking notes of like all his stuff and like labbing and theorying like how to beat everything he did, while he was not doing any of that because he was like well retired from the game by that point. And then when we played, it was a bit controversial because in Grand Finals we were playing on the PS4, which had, according to CM, it's had lag, although I didn't really notice anything majorly different.
It does technically have one more frame of input lag.
Yeah, I know, that's what I've heard. It didn't really affect me personally, but like
it's one frame of input lag.
yeah.
There is a video clip. There's an audio clip that is very infamous amongst the SGOCE that in fine detail explains his dilemma at that one frame of input lag.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let me see if I can play it, because that'd be really cool if I could. Oh,
And
it's on my
the other
phone.
thing is-
It's on my phone. I can
It's
play it through my
like-
phone.
I think the first game he picked his main team, and then like he switched because like he didn't want to play his main team in lag for some reason. So he played some like different teams. He tried to play Robo. I don't remember exactly like the order of what stuff he played, but so that was also the other factor. And the other factor was that I had like a big crowd all cheering for me and probably tilting CM a little bit. So I had like all these massive factors in my favor, which is I would have say greatly contributed to me being able to beat him. But,
Anyway.
like, if I didn't have all of those, then I probably would not have beaten him.
Anyway, there's the infamous clip. I
Alright.
appreciate the link shuffle, but it wouldn't have worked.
Okay.
What the hell?
Trying to do my team things and trying to do my neutral things, I was always off by like 2-3 frames and dropping out. So I was like, fuck this.
3 frames.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So does that answer your question, Gigi?
Yeah, I think that the real takeaway from that is that a big reason that CM seemed to lose was because he had mental blocks. He seems to have some real OSs that he's developed.
It didn't take a lot of time to develop that, brother. Let it be known. He didn't spend a lot of time developing the OS. Let it be known.
Yeah, but so Jedi did the right thing by fighting the player. He studied the player specifically. If you're having trouble beating like a specific player, then that's like a good place to start. Is like analyzing their matches and seeing what they're doing to win, and not just against you, but against other players. Hopefully against other players of your characters. If it's possible.
There's no one else in OCE who plays.
Yeah,
I
Now,
guess
first
there
just
is
go.
now.
But
Yeah.
optimally.
optimally now.
But you were able to beat CM even though you didn't have that resource. You just looked at what he did to other people and you used that because that's the best you had. You were willing to be humble enough about your victory, or your mentality is at least really good in the sense that you felt like you put in a strong amount of work, but you weren't you don't feel entitled to a victory against him. And I think that's really important. That like for new players, you might feel like because you've put what seems like a lot of time to you in the game, because I mean, it's like really easy for somebody to say like when Yoma says that he's got like 4,000 hours in the game or something like that, like that's a lot of time, but unless nobody really knows what that feels like unless they've either put that much time in the game or yeah, that's about it. Like you just don't know what that feels like. You don't like I've put 400 hours in the game and I feel like I've put a lot of time into the game, but like I understand that in context it's not that much time. So it's really frustrating to lose something that I feel like I shouldn't, but I also know that that's like a really bad mentality to have because there's nothing that you should or shouldn't lose to if you are losing or not losing to it, right?
Yeah.
There's things that you should probably learn how to deal with, but you don't get to say that somebody shouldn't be winning. So I think that's I think that the core difference between you and Sam seemed to be the mentality that you had going into the match and coming out of it.
Well,
I
I guess I think I'd more attribute to the fact that I was like specifically having to beat him and he was retired. So,
do you think that? I mean, if he did he know about the match ahead of time? Well, he knew that he was going to be competing at BAM. He knew he was going to compete at BAM, and he probably knew that you were the best player outside of him at the time.
yeah.
So he could have taken the time to, if it mattered to him.
Yeah, no, it certainly didn't. Like, he was not going to enter until I,
Didn't you pay for his ticket or something?
No, well, okay, so in my mind, that's basically what I did, but he gets upset when I say that because, like, I commissioned him to draw something for me because he was doing commissions at the time to cover his cost, and in the end, he never ended up doing it. He refunded the money. So basically, I lent him money so he could enter, and like I specifically did that because I wanted to play him and I wanted to beat him to prove that I was, I could beat him, right?
If you listen to that clip, it doesn't sound like he didn't care.
Yeah, I mean, like he obviously he was
He felt entitled to the win.
He was salty at the time. After that, he sort of was like, he kind of came around and was like, okay, you deserve to win, and I didn't. And then, like, he sort of changed his mind a bit after. I think he's now salty again. I don't know.
The salt comes in waves.
I think he did like crush light kick, crush medium kick as well, and then did crush heavy kick when heavy punch when he saw it hit, and the crushing heavy punch whiffed on Squiggly, and then he went Squiggles is a shit game and then locked off, and I was like, you know what? I respect that. If I was in his position, I would have probably done the same thing.
I've had that happen to me. But yeah, I think that mentality is a big. Putting yourself in the correct mentality to improve, I think, is maybe the ultimate roadblock. That if you are able to think about the game in the proper way, then you'll experience significantly fewer roadblocks. I think that almost all of the major roadblocks that real beginner players encounter are self-imposed in the sense that they have to do with just the way that you think about the game.
Yeah, pretty much. Like
People
a lot of
say
them
stuff like,
a lot of them stem down to the same thing, just being motivated and putting an effort into the game. Like it's like,
people say stuff like, I'm not able to do dragon punch motions, so I'm not even gonna try, or some shit like that. It's like, well,
It's like a baby saying, I can't even walk, so I'm not even gonna try. It's like, bro.
I mean, we can make fun of those people, but like, I'm not gonna pretend like it's a lot of fun learning how to do dragon punch motions.
I'm pretty sure when I was a kid, I didn't enjoy walking and falling down either, but I did it anyway. So here we are.
Like, I remember when I was like a beginning player years and years
I thought
ago,
you were gonna
grinding
say,
out
I
Dragon
remember
Punch.
when I was a baby, I couldn't walk.
Yeah, that's right. No, grinding down dragon punch motions, it's not fucking fun. It sucks. It's boring.
I mean, there's
You
ways to
fail a
make it
bunch of
fun.
times.
There's like, you can do drills specifically, you know, and you can find enjoyment in like, okay, I will do 5 dragon punches on one side, and I will do 5 on the other. Then you get it, and you feel good that you got 5 on one in a row on
Yeah,
one
but
side.
if you're failing at that shit for 20 minutes, you don't feel like a damn maniac. You can't press 4 buttons in a sequence. That's all it is.
Oh,
There's
shit.
real people that experience that. And,
No. I mean, I
sympathize with them.
understand that. Like, I play melee, bro. You think I don't feel
Yeah.
bad that I like can't do a nair into wave shine? I'm like, I should be able to do this. It's not that hard. And then I try it, and it is pretty hard. And I go, oh well. Even pros fail at it up till sometimes. So good. But like at the
But,
same time, like it's just
You just gotta have the mentality that if you apply yourself, that you'll get through it.
yeah, it's just changing your mindset on feeling bad about it when you don't get it, and then you just change it to feeling really good when you do get it, you know, and like being okay with the fact that you can't get it now, and then realizing that you can grow from like you can improve as opposed to being static at a level of like skill or whatever. Like that's a real thing. Like that's a learning mindset, and there's like actual empirical evidence about that sort of mentality, and that's like specifically better. Remember when I was a baby, I couldn't even dragon punch. Hell yeah, brother.
That's probably true, Kobe.
When I was a baby, I couldn't read. That was whack.
Damn, when I was a child, I wish I could parry my mother's hits.
Jesus Christ.
How long have you been your age? You haven't said anything.
The sandal's unparryable, dude.
Oh my god. Can't believe it.
This
I
one
can
is
unlock
hella
that.
unfair.
Sorry, age, what was that?
I just got back.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Oh yeah, you said
Oh,
you had to
you-
leave. I can't. I didn't even remember that. That was sick.
No, I didn't have to leave. I just left because you were listing, like, this is annoying for like 10 minutes. And I was going to say, Yoma listing this shit is annoying. But I decided to just leave and play Mal for a
But that's
Oh,
alright. You came at the best time you could, Age, because you're gonna meet, you're gonna witness Yoma and I kill each other in dive kick.
Did you buy the game yet?
Oh, what? Yeah, we're gonna play dive kick.
All right. Did you?
I was asking for dive kick before.
Well, we
Well,
got
now you got
it
it.
now.
Too late. Or too
So-
early? I don't know.
It's not,
We
it's
can-
not
we can
really
have a
late at
round
all.
robin.
We're just on time.
Yeah.
Dark Kick doesn't have pure lobbies. This is 1v1. You have to like actually set up a lobby, or like
Fuck.
it doesn't have a Skullgirls lobby or whatever.
Oh, see, we talked about dive kick. Now Mal came.
Oh, real. Sick.
Age, I was going to ask you if you had. I remember that you were for a time coming up with new ways of thinking about learning from sets and things of that nature, and if you thought any of those things were pertinent to overcoming roadblocks. But I suppose that's still more on a case by case basis.
I definitely think how you overcome roadblocks is different for different personalities, but considering I haven't really been able to get over mine for a while, I don't know if I can really offer good advice.
What roadblocks you have?
Oh, well, just like I'm sticking around the same kind of skill level, I think, for the last year or so.
Big plateau.
My advice for overcoming roadblocks is by driving over them. That's really funny.
We had. I'm not sure. Were you listening to the podcast, Age? Or,
Nah, I was just playing.
I think that the head that we've come to is that the best way to overcome roadblocks is just to put yourself in a mentality that minimizes them. And I think that
I don't know if mentality is that consciously malleable. Like,
It's difficult.
I used to think when people told me about being depressed that my advice would be just make yourself not feel bad. And that's not really a thing. Like, it may be different for learning styles, like visualizing failure as like in a different frame of mind so that it's more towards this is where I succeeded or this is where I've learnt something. But I don't know for sure if that's how it works. Like, maybe it's just that's how your brain works.
I'll say for certain that people have that the vast majority of people I see that have the vast majority of beginning fighting players I see, their biggest problem is mentality, in the sense that they say that because they can't do something that they won't try, or that they think that they are entitled to be able to beat a certain strategy or player, and they aren't willing to put in the work because of that. Certainly, I think that's true of newer players.
I can't remember who was talking about entitlement and that kind of mindset, but they were saying that it was probably related to the fact that there's so much information out there. Like, back in the day, you just practiced what you knew, and then if someone showed you how to beat something, then that was like revolutionary. But nowadays, you kind of know how to beat things if you research it, but that doesn't mean you can actually do it in game. So it becomes a game of, I know there are answers, I just didn't do them. So I'm viewing the opponent as bad because there are answers to what he's doing. But that doesn't mean I'm actually beating him. So you feel like you're entitled to the win because your knowledge base is there, but you're not actually executing.
We're back to chump checks.
No, let's not go back there. So this is like probably not even related to Roadblocks, but I had in my mind today two ways of thinking in general, and you'd apply it to fighting games, but it is, I think, very general. And it's one type of person would think of themselves in one situation as this is where I am at present, and they'd visualize somewhere else they want to be, and then plan a route towards that place, right? So in fighting games, maybe that's this is where I want to be in terms of what I want to improve. This is the kind of player I'm aiming for. I'll figure out a path towards that. Another way of thinking, which I think is closest to how I think, is you don't actually see the end result you're aiming for. You just see the point you're at now and vectors at like 360 degrees of options you can go from there, and you just evaluate, am I in a good spot? Does this vector seem reasonable? And I don't think that's a good way of thinking, but I think it's how I think about the game.
I would definitely say that I believe you when you say that's how you think about the game, knowing that, yeah, you pick like different teams very frequently and things of that nature.
Well, it's not even just the team differences. It's in the game, I won't be thinking I want to get him to block light punch and then run a tick throw, and that's the situation that'll help me win. I'm thinking I'm in this specific frame of a situation. These are my options. This option feels good, or this option feels dangerous. And
Oh, I
so
see. So you're not talking about like a
reacting
metagame
to
sense. You're talking
situation.
about like a specific.
I'm talking about that system of thinking, like the planning versus the specific aim versus the current situation focus, as like a thinking process that can be applied at all levels.
Sorry.
So maybe if I'm bringing that back to potential roadblocks, maybe a roadblock for me is that I'm not visualizing specifics of endpoints I want to work to.
Would you describe that as a lack of a strategy?
No.
Okay.
Well, I guess if you think of strategy as opposed to tactics, maybe you could think of what I'm doing as like tactically focused but random strategy. And strategy is like, here's the overarching.
I mean, when I think of like a matchup in a game or like my position as a player, I think of the place that I want to be, and I think of like a strategy to get there. Like I want to make my opponent block Butcher's Blade, and how am I going to put them in a situation where I can do that?
Yeah.
And so and that's like a strategy. It's like my strategy is to get them to block Butcher's Blade, and then my options are going to come from that. But I mean, to me, the way that you're describing this more tactical style is that you don't have a I mean, your strategy is I suppose a lot more general in the sense that like you want to win, and you're not thinking of a specific way to do that, which I think is really interesting because if maybe I should revisit my Valentine Eliza team and consider like, okay, well, having them block Butcher's Blade isn't the only way I can win in other ways.
Yeah, I think there's like definite weak points to both of those things I described, but I don't think it's clear that I don't think my one is better at all, but I think there's like the side of it which is you're opening yourself up to like different paths more often, so maybe you're exploring eventually a bigger space, but the focused goal oriented one is like if you're working towards I want to always have my BNB come out and not drop, then goal focused is going to work better because you're going to be able to actually evaluate whether you're doing something better, whether you're reaching it, whether you're getting closer, that sort of thing. And as far as approaching it from a new player standpoint, one of the great pieces of advice I saw from, I think it was Guilty Bits or one of their channel's videos, was to break down whatever new game you're learning into base skills or like the main categories of skill that you can improve on as a player, and get to like 50% of what you want to be in each of those, and you've learned the game essentially, and then it's just refinement. So as far as being goal oriented in that way, you can visualize what your end result player that you want to be is by defining it like that.
Oh shit, I went the wrong road. Whoopsie.
So yeah, I think I replaced Yoma as the rambling one now, so I might hop off
It's
again.
either you or me.
Oh god. No, that's better probably.
Well, we're gonna play dive here once Yoma, either crashes the car, runs out of fuel, or
What the
doesn't stop,
fuck?
whichever comes first.
I missed my turn and now I have to travel another 3 hours. Are you fucking kidding?
Just do a U-turn.
It's on the motorway, bro. I can't do that.
Just wait till you can.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's why it's gonna take me another 3 hours so I can get to a spot where I can.
Can't you
So,
drive off?
so we're playing dive kick in 3 hours. Can me and Shuffle play dive kick?
I mean, you guys can. This is not gonna be on stream.
Alright, so train up so I can just kick your ass, alright?
Oh, you don't need to train to beat Yoma.
This
Because you're already a fraud.
You just need to truck.
Can't believe this shit.
I'm gonna hit him like a truck.
I mean, like 3 in-game hours isn't like, what is this, like fucking 5 minutes or some shit? 5 minutes to an hour, so 15 minutes. Also, I'm again running out of fuel. Fuck. Where's the closest fuel station? Oh, there's one like this right over it. Cool. Sick.
Alright, I hope this button scheme isn't gonna confuse me.
Age, for what it's worth, I think that vector oriented definitely opened up what I didn't really consider, which is you can try different strategies with a different team or whatever, which is not something that I ever really focused on, and which is why I feel like I got really disappointed with Filia Robo Band when the patch happened. And like whenever patches happen, I feel like I get really discouraged because of that, where I go, the thing I wanted to try with this team doesn't work anymore, therefore I don't really like this team anymore. Whereas I could probably find some
has shifted, so
I could probably find some way to enjoy the game even if I didn't do what I wanted to. I just don't really like that because so much of my effort went into following that specific goal that it's not accessible anymore. So I felt really annoyed because of that. But at the same time, like, I feel that for most intents and purposes, you like, I personally feel like not being, like, having an actual, it's not necessarily motivation, but having a specific goal in mind helps you not meander when you're trying to improve and not focus on things that you don't necessarily view, or like, I mean, of course you have to like holistically view the whole improvement thing, you know, but you should focus on like immediately working on what you want to use to get better. And sometimes it's very obvious, sometimes it's not, in which case the other strategy is also just as the other learning method is just as viable, where you focus on things that you thought immediately weren't as good, but then they end up getting better later on and stuff like that. Guess, can this bus guy go? Bus driver, move it. Yeah, I do like that there aren't any more updates overall in Skullgirls though, because it allows people like me to dive super deep into a team and explore all aspects of it, which I think is really cool and fucking epic. Alright. I feel like at this point we've strayed pretty far from the initial topic, but again, like, I feel like we kind of covered the initial topic in of itself really quickly, really early on.
I think that the big summary that I would give to people is that if you are struggling with something specific, ask everybody in your local scene, and if they aren't giving you answers that are useful to you, you need to change how you think. That's a good plan.
Yeah. Kobe said a little bit. I'm not sure if he means that we're off topic a little bit, and in which case it's far more than a little bit, but, you know. I appreciate your kind gesture here, Kobe. Oh, Milano? Isn't that, like, Spain or some shit? I can't tell. Milano. I can't remember what it is. My geography isn't very good, so... And I guess I can just Google it. Let me just do that. Milano. There we go. Milano is in Italy. Okay. Spain and Italy, it's close enough. It's the same thing. I reckon if I can just make it... I can't make a U-turn here. It's not going to work. It's not a regular ass car. That was a regular car. I could have just done it the turn here, but I can't do that. Yeah, Milan. Wait, did I? Oh no, I put in Milano and it gave me Milan. I think it's just in Italy they just say Milano instead of Milan or something. I'm not sure.
Is the podcast over?
I'm about to give Shuffle the Hands on the podcast, so not particularly, but also yes, because we're just done talking about
that's
the
if I
topic.
can somehow figure out how to play Age.
Hey, I might leave then.
Okay, see you, dude.
It's going to get pretty violent, Jedi, so I don't blame you for leaving.
Alright, bye everyone.
Bye.
You do.
I keep sending you these invites. Well, I sent you one invite. And I know I clicked your two and it didn't throw me into anything.
Yeah, it's not working for me.
Does Darkick Online actually not work? That's actually whack.
I'm just gonna see if I've missed an update or something.
It should say edition E plus, or sorry, not E plus, edition plus. Should have Fencer and from Nidhogg and all that.
Well, it's got Fencer. I
Okay,
didn't see edition plus though.
it should be there because that's what the Fencer update came with.
That'll suck if we're gonna play online.
I don't know why you couldn't. I think I remember playing CM, but it was ages ago. I think I played him with Johnny Gap when Johnny Gap came out. The heck was tight. The heck was pretty tight.
Yeah, I looked in like just single player at that character. He looks like he's got a Modoc mode, like switch your buttons around.
Johnny Gat, no. He has the what do you call it? He puts on the magnet and it slows down your opponent's movement around that magnet. He's also got a car, which if you get hit by the car, you die, which is how life works.
Well, I know I have edition plus.
Okay. I don't know why it doesn't work then. That's kind of whack. I'll just finish this delivery and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. In the meantime, I guess we can just leave the discussion up to any topic really, not just what we were discussing. I can talk about myself. Yay, woo. I feel really happy at what I did at Lost Iron Bats. Even though people suck, so it's all good. But
You played well.
I have come to realize that I don't care anymore if people suck. If people are going to be bad, I will just stop caring and I will just beat them instead of
But
having...
you said this before.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you have.
Probably said it like a couple of years ago, which is different.
I think it was last year.
Maybe. But in any case, I feel like, I don't know, the feeling of, I guess, contempt, it just feels it worse every time, where I like constantly tell people like, hey, you should be doing this, or you shouldn't be push blocking in the air every single time, and then people do it and in a bad spot and they get killed for it, and I'm like, well, I keep telling people not to do it. If they keep doing it, then that's on them, I guess. And I've just gotten so tired of it. I hate it. And now I just feel like if anybody asks me for help, I'll give it. But I am absolutely not keen on putting an effort into helping people when they don't explicitly elicit help from me in a strong manner. If they don't post in the set and they go, hey, I watched the set, I think I suck at this, can you watch it and tell me? If they don't do that, I'll be like, I maybe, and then probably not. I don't know. I'm far more focused on my own improvement, that I can't be bothered giving other people time. And also I simply cannot do that because whatever time I have for SG I just spend it on SG, and every other time I spend it on every time I have for SG, I just spend it on myself. I don't spend it on other people anymore, which is something I used to do a lot, and it was ultimately not very good for me. I think me picking Bear Band against Squiggly is ultimately the main play. I can't be bothered playing Philly against that team. It is absolutely not worth it. The level of stress that the matchup produces in my body, it's whack. Whereas a Bail Band, the neutral is a ton easier, and cornering him is really easy. I think for now, I'm really bad at actually doing corner pressure. So I think I'm going to look at where actually he has to deal with mix-ups and try to force them on him. Because that's really important. And also Squiggly's bullshit in that department. Because every time I try to walk up crouching leg kick to beat up back on Squiggly's low, she simply up backs and she simply like stand blocks and avoids it. Because Mike thought it'd be really cool to give a character a pixel worth of hurt box. Pretty fucking epic.
So, if you have your bingo sheets at home, tick off that salt box.
I like the way you've described it because it makes it the stand block is a low crush.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. My low just doesn't reach.
Here's what I'll do. I'll turn off my firewall and see what happens.
Yeah, but that wouldn't stop me joining your lobby, sure.
Maybe there's like some crappy firewall rule or something. Well, I'm turning off my firewall, so if anything happens to me, you know what happened. Russians got...
Don't talk shit about Putin, bro.
I click a lot of shit.
I said don't talk shit about Putin. You can probably certainly link shit about Putin.
I didn't say link, I said click.
Oh, true. Whatever, man. You know,
Yeah,
English
I
is
keep
my
up-
third
keep up to
language.
date. No, I just got to keep up to date with my Alex Jones, you know?
Oh, true, bro. You're right.
Mm.
The CM, what CM said about Alex Jones was actually like so funny. How Alex Jones is actually right, and the people who were turning the frogs gay, like, paid Alex, like gave Alex Jones the intel, and he's trying to tell the world about this horrible injustice, but because he's Alex Jones, nobody listens to him.
You see, how the NWO works is they always believe that truth is in plain sight. So, of course, you know, Alex Jones is the perfect puppet. He'll tell you the truth, but because you think he's Alex Jones, you're not going to believe it. And then, bam, fucking World War III comes, there's a giant war, all government's destroyed, and then suddenly the Illuminati comes out and goes, we're the one true government now, bitch.
And
True
it's
story.
run by frogs who suck each other's dicks, so it's all good.
You know the Archons have actually trapped the god Enki, right? The god of knowledge and water and shit.
Hell yeah,
Like,
brother.
Thousands of years ago is when the world was like blown up 4 times and all that shit.
Enki's the one that's the statue under the Sphinx.
Enki's actually a very ancient god, from if I remember right, because you got Anu, right? A-N-U, or Anu, which is like the god of almost like, it's almost everything, I think, and then you got Enki, which is like the descendant, and all that weird shit. Anyway, Archons are bad, Illuminati's bad, fighting games are good.
Alright. But yeah, that's my focus in Skullgirls. I want to beat everybody, and I've almost done that. I just want to be
Well,
able
I
to do that
mean, you have to
consistently.
beat them consistently, though.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I was gonna say that. Like, I want to beat everybody consistently.
Alright, well, we'll be keep in touch, and if you fail, then prepare to hold the bands.
Well, I mean, I don't care because my goal is realistic, I think. And I can do it. I have done it. I have beat Jedi before. So I know I can do it again.
Do you want to try going on unranked shuffle?
Yeah, we can try. Alright. I jumped in. Because I doubt anyone in Australia will be playing this game. They're too busy playing Street Fighter 5, Melee, Dragon Ball.
You play
Obviously
Melee in
shooting.
Australia? I thought that wasn't possible.
I don't know, maybe one person is.
Oh, shut up, man.
Oh, hell yeah, what?
What, did ranked work?
Yeah.
Wow. Farm that rank, baby.
We're going unranked. And I can't talk long because my push to talk is like hold back to go back in the game.
Why? Alright. Not playing the game on keyboard. What a fucking pleb.
I'm playing it on stick.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
Alright, Age, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know some memes, alright?
Dive button does a neutral jump. Kick button, like on the ground. The dive button does a neutral jump. The kick button does a jump back. And in the air, the kick button...
I need you to start using the official terminology for this game. It's important.
Wreck.
The dive button makes you dive into the air, and the kick button makes you do a kick back.
Sure, bro. I hope you got it through your system, bro. It was really...
The phrase "dive into the air" is perhaps my favorite fighting game meme of all time.
Can't beat my neutral. This ain't fucking Skullgirls.
They shuffled in the first round. That's horrendous.
Age is about to get frauded.
Why do you and why do you and Risky have some weird push to talk setups? Hell yeah, brother.
Fuck.
Get kicked in the dick, dude.
No, what's that? What if you have two instances of dive kick running and all four players use the same stick? You could probably do that. It would be really annoying, but you could.
Oh shit, it doesn't
I wanted that
let me
fraud so badly.
change control.
I don't think you could do that.
You can change controls in
Well,
dive
no,
kick.
Not on.
I don't know.
That's
I don't know
weird.
how you would do it. You probably could.
You have to hold two buttons on the keyboard and then set it, I think.
I can't remember how to play Shoal.
It's not very complicated. You just jump up and then you foot dive.
I'm playing Mr. N.
Oh, you bitch. I was gonna play that character. Mr. N is really good, I think. I think Mr. N is definitely top tier. A friend of mine and I were exploring the Kung Pao versus Mr. N matchup. I think it's a very dynamic and really fun matchup that has a lot of mix-ups on both sides. And I discovered a new town, so I'm pretty happy. And this might be the last delivery of the day. No, this not might be. This is definitely the last delivery of the day. I'm getting really tired.
I love how she's just chilling as she's foot diving along the wall.
Man, it's been a long time since I did this.
What? Play dive kick?
No, I'm playing Arcana Heart, but I'm doing some combos that I don't do.
Oh yeah.
That rollback, can we not count that?
Oh, hell yeah. Fucking roll back. Oh no, fuck. Okay, that was roll back.
No, that was good neutral.
record these with sound in the background. I'll even... Let's see here.
I'm not even gonna do a hard
Good neutral, you were saying? Oh, fuck.
Alrighty. So that's that for this game. Let's jump onto that good old dice.
2-0. I even got the dad ranking.
Yeah, but you got cucked in the win pose.
Oh, I haven't downloaded. Oh, it's on my PC. It's not on my PC at the moment. I think it should be there soon. Whew. I think this podcast was really productive, even though we had like a bunch of time thrown away in the middle.
I mean, that's normal. Also, red pin me on Jeff Haley.
Oh, if he wins too much, his head gets too big.
Oh no.
Every win he gets, his head gets bigger. So he's basically you.
Oh no. This is the opposite of what I want. Uh-oh.
What the hell was that?
I think it's his special move. He does like a drop kick. It's delayed, so I guess that's one. Fuck. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now it's spiraling out of control. My head's too big.
Thank you, Kobe, for your what do you call it? Your
I'm so godlike.
fuck, I can't think of the word. For your reaffirmation. I don't know. Can't think of the word at the moment.
I'm just too good at neutral. How do I lose at Skullgirls?
It is definitely not the Skullgirls. Let it be known. Alright, it fits here. Cool.
We're going YOLO, boys.
Is the game really loud? I can turn it down. Controls, video. Oh shit. There we go, that's a lot better.
Fuck this character.
Get owned, bitch.
Alright, so how we play this, Yoma, is apparently we have to go to unranked and hope we get verse. I better
Okay.
change my online settings. I wonder if it counts us in the same region or not.
I said it's near. Anyway. Okay, I'll go online. And
Hang on, let me do the same.
okay, let me see if I
setting.
can. Let me see if I can I can invite you. That'll be a lot easier if it does work, even though it might not. Ranking, zero lobby, create lobby. There we go. PC performance D. Get out of here. How do I invite? Wow. How do I invite a friend? I'm gonna turn down the sound. It's too loud on my end. Alright, Shuffy, whenever you're ready, buddy.
Oh, not gonna pop in. Well, it probably won't work anyway.
Nah, I couldn't find a way to invite even.
Alright, so get ready for unranked. 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright. Searching.
In before age. Oh no. I got age.
Oh, did you? I didn't get anybody. I guess I'll just wait.
I'll try again. In before age again.
I'll quit.
Oh,
Sick,
yeah,
I got it.
So like, we're the only two people on Oceania playing this.
Hell yeah, brother.
We can have a money match, that'll be fine.
I love these lines, bro.
Yeah, get your fucking broken character, bitch. I know where my memes lie.
I'm a good old default guy. Age stream sniping? Okay. Alright. Okay, fine.
Yeah, get fucked, bitch.
Alright, that's all good.
What was that?
It was my die kick. Fuck Mr. N, hell yeah, brother. Oh shit.
That was my headshot.
Was it?
Hold that shit.
Didn't do anything to me.
Hey, you can't blame me for that one.
Yes, I can.
It's not my fault my head gets too big.
Get the hands, bitch.
I believe it's the feet actually, so I didn't receive any hands.
I don't hug white girls. It's
Yeah, that's
fucking
pretty much
fine.
you, Yom, I'm not gonna lie. Should have jumped back. Fucking gorilla like you only knows how to go forward. Yeah, exactly. Get red.
Alright.
Yeah, fuck you.
Okay, that's cool.
Fucking red. Yeah, fucking perfecto. Fucking boom.
Okay. The matchup's annoying.
Oh, I'm having loads of fun. What about you? 1-1, bitch.
Couldn't get anywhere. That was
Even
basically
even with my giant fucking face, you couldn't hit me.
it was a checkmate scenario. I couldn't do anything.
Best of 3.
No.
Are you sure you don't want that best of 3?
Okay.
Fucking stay down, bitch. Oh no.
Stupid bitch.
Oh look, I misjudged the range, alright?
You're a misjudgment of the range.
I am the fucking god at this game. I haven't even played it long.
It's a bad matchup.
Oh, you gotta go pick another character. Alright, but I'm gonna stay humble and I'll still stay Jafale.
Face me.
You gonna do that? Six, my character was low tier. Now pick a top tier.
Fuck off.
It's alright.
Literally red. Oh shit.
Stupid bitch.
You only got that because I jumped in the wrong way.
How about that? Okay.
Yeah, you were saying?
So good. Okay. Can't move.
No!
Dumb cunt.
Oh, okay, we're getting serious, are we? Oh no! My head's too big! No!
Get fucked.
It's about time you won one, I'm gonna be honest.
It was 2-1 before, so. Okay. So good.
Just as free as your fucking Beowulf. Oh no.
Stupid bitch.
Fuck. Shit. Alright, okay, I got it. I know the matchup.
I'll do you now.
Fuck. Alright. No, I was meant to kick. Alright. Okay, that's alright. 2-2.
3-2.
Bullshit.
Because I got the first one and then you won 2 and then I got the next 2.
Oh god. I'm reaching the plateau already. Fuck, I wish I listened to the podcast, I knew what to do. No, I keep jumping back, fuck. Oh god, this is 2014 all over again when I keep up backing. Oh no. Okay. I got it.
Okay,
Yep.
got me there.
Too easy.
That one? Alright.
Oh, I'm sorry, you don't understand what a hitbox priority is?
What did that try?
I gotta say that these evil combos for Cure are some of my favorite combos in any fighting game ever.
What are they with?
Get mixed up, bitch. Yes.
What are they with? What the
Get
fuck?
fucking baited. No, you get G baited. Oh.
Oh my god. Alright, it's 3-3, it's all good. I'm a filthy leaker, don't trust me with the secrets. Alright.
Oh yeah, hello Wall, by the way, if you're still here. Shit. Sorry, Adele. No! Yeah, fuck off.
Alright, that's cool.
Keep that weak shit away from me. Fucking. Okay, I misread.
Okay.
Get baited.
What the fuck?
Haven't seen tech like that, have you? Welcome to Oceania, bitch. Oh, what? No. No. Fuck.
Stupid bitch.
Rollback. It's GGPO. It's rollback, alright?
SSD, bro.
Oh no, I might have to change. Yeah, you think about that one, buddy. With your concussion. Oh.
That's cute.
Alright, alright, alright. Oh, what? Fucking which side was that on? Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. Look, mistakes were made. It's the delay I set on, alright?
Sure.
Alright, I know what's gonna happen, alright. Back to the basics.
I don't care with my stick. Someone give me a stick to borrow? Select your gems.
Oh, really? Get owned. You took the color, bitch. Look at the pink. Okay.
Yes, from above.
Fraud detection warning. Fraud detection warning.
Round one. Kick.
Take that. Hi, 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 hi. Take that. Hi, hi, take that.
Fuck, he's so fast!
Fraud detected.
Fuck, that was so stupid. Also, stupid bitch.
That neutral was whack. Alright, I know
It
what to
was
do.
so
okay?
stupid.
I went all in. Maybe it's a bit too early for that.
Someone give me a stick to borrow?
Gotta keep it simple. I went too hardcore. Composure. I gotta keep my composure. No teacups. That was basically a teacup incoming.
You don't think of Mr. Wannon's a good person. That's fucked up. But that's true.
Round one. Kick.
$1 bills, y'all.
Round two. Kick.
Take that.
Yeah, fuck off.
No, that's broken.
I can do that too.
Round three.
Take
Kick.
that. Take that.
Hmm.
My loaned money.
Get chairs up your ass, bitch.
Round four. Kick.
Take that.
Yeah. Hold these feet.
Round five. Kick.
Holy fuck, really? Now, just for curiosity, I want to know what the fifth one is.
Yeah. Get stancelled.
Hmm.
The good old Yoma quote.
Yes, from above. Round one. Kick.
What the hell?
No, that's broken.
Get wrecked. Oh, right. Shit. Unfamiliar with this matchup, right?
Okay.
You thought you had me, didn't you? But you didn't.
Where'd the chair go?
Huh. Okay.
That was a read.
What?
Yeah. I'm a god.
But he didn't get the good grades, so you're a fraud.
Where'd the chair go? Nice MIA call.
Alright, okay. Shit. On landing recovery too. Fuck.
Fraud detection warning.
No, not today. Not today, buddy. No!
Oh, Uri-san.
Detected.
Somebody clip that match, please.
Oh, they're not gonna find that footage, sorry.
Somebody clip that.
As we're speaking, I'm going into the Steam account and just no, the stream account just to. I'm gonna make don't put this VOD up. Or if I do, I'll censor it. Censor my name. Alright, I gotta redeem myself.
Uri-san, まだ見てる?
Fuck. Alright. Being too aggro, Yeah, exactly, okay. Gotta play neutral.
Okay.
Nice.
How was that a headshot? I don't understand that.
Alright, I got baited.
If I did nothing, I wouldn't have got hit. I don't even meet her.
This character's too easy, sorry. Who looks the most low tier I can possibly be?
This version 2012.
The Baz. I'm pretty sure the Baz sucks.
I'll enjoy raining on your parade. Select your gems. Select your duds. Yes, from above. Round one.
Have you ever played the Baz Ram?
Alright, unorthodox, I can get it.
Oh, he works totally different than he used to. He's actually like better now.
Wasn't he worse? Like, he used to be top tier, right?
No. No, he used to suck because he used to have Zero's lightning loops as the dive king. Like, you know how the hitbox on it is not active until after it completes? That's like a pretty big problem for a game that you have to hit somebody on the head. That he would have to go through them in order to hit them.
Alright, okay.
Vaz might be good now, but he certainly was not when I played this game, which was a very long time ago. He works totally different. This looks pretty good.
Get whipped, my boy.
I'm trying to learn a new character now.
This Baz looks pretty good.
It's the first time they're playing Eskil, bro.
The characters that sucked when I played were the Baz and the girl that had Kung Lao's kick.
Get faked out.
Stupid bitch!
Fucking parries. Yeah, fucking teleport that shit. Oh, couldn't teleport that one either, could you? How's your head feeling there? Did you take a boot to the head? Get it? Because that's a player's name. Oh, fuck. Hi, boot.
Oh, I don't have meter
That
anymore.
seems pretty good now. Yeah, you lose all your meter when you get a headshot.
No, I like messed up my parry. Oh, he bait him a parry?
Get wrecked.
I think I timed it badly or something. Because I definitely should have got it.
I saw that fucking parry, read it like a book. Oh, I'm not gonna pick another character? Okay, yeah. Respectable. Fuck, my little tootsie toes. Okay, yeah.
Indeed. This might be the wrong gem for this character, actually.
Shit. I thought you were gonna do it early.
I'm glad this game was made when it was, so it doesn't have like a Sonic Fox character. Because
Oh,
if this
thank
game was made
God.
Today it would have a Sonic Fox character in it, and I would like it a lot.
What?
less.
My parry came out.
Delay setup, boy.
Also,
I
there
would
is
love
already
to
a Sonic
keep
Fox
watching-
character.
Is there really?
I mean, it's redacted, right?
No. That's Wolverine. His name was even Wolverine.
I know. I know.
Skullgirls Japan's
Watching
thing
us?
is starting. No,
Oh, okay.
No, Wool was there, but
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still.
he's not.
Yeah, he was in the chat and said something. I'm like, okay, cool, hi, Wall.
And then he
But
said dive kick, and I went, yeah.
He saw Yoma get beaten badly and he decided to leave before it got too bad.
The whistles go, woo.
Definitely be a VOD watcher. Also, I do want to watch the Japanese thing sometime, Yoma, so try and beat me quick. If you can. Go back to Tack and Mark, man. You do not belong here. Go back to our stream. ATP Bigot. Oh no.
Free.
You see, I play
They're
Jam
still
a lot.
accepting entry, so I think they're going to be accepting entry for like another hour.
I mean, whoa.
That's sad. Matchup sucks.
Oh look, ass rating again. Okay, Johnny Gat. Or do I want to play Kenny?
Do you know Kenny plays every like every character?
Then this isn't gonna be a problem then.
He's Mokujin.
Yeah. And you can't tell before you do everything.
I have no problem.
Oh really?
Damn it.
Oh, you got stream?
Oh yeah, Stream Monster, yeah.
Hmm.
Shit.
Perfect setup.
What are you, Seth? Fuck.
All the 1 meter to kill you with the car.
Implying that's going to hit me. Yeah, fuck off.
Can't believe it.
Mate, I'll play double. I've seen enough bandwagons. Oh, fuck, why does it keep giving me Stream Monster? Oh, okay, good reason. You're dead, kid. Too easy. more, and then I take my wins and leave. You can hold that shit. You know what? Back to the basics.
Select your choice. Select your nuts. This from above. Round one. Kick.
Fuck. Hit me now, unblockable, that's alright.
Round three. Kick. Round four. Kick.
Nice try, bitch. I've played Sam Show before.
What the hell?
That's right, bitch, I was ready. You think I didn't plan for this matchup?
Disqualified.
Oh, my sword's over there. I can't win. Alright, so I got this.
Disqualified.
That's it, boy, I'm the champ. See the trophy? Means I'm the champ. Good way to end the stream, in my opinion. Thanks, FTD, for letting this magical moment happen.
I'm glad that you were able to give him hell. I would hate to have missed out on that.
Streak 7
See?
losses. That's not pretty. Why did they do that? Why did they do that? That's not good. That's not very wholesome. Oh, we forgot. Hindi Looney Tunes.
Oh shit, we nearly forgot.
Yeah. Alright, let's pull it up. What's already here? Alright. I will pause that and then pull up display capture and click down the image, and there we go. So to end the stream, we shall watch one 4-minute episode of a Hindi dub of a Looney Tune.
Your favorite song?
Actually, this isn't very good. Never mind. This isn't very funny in of itself.
Maybe you should have, prepped the thing.
I had like 3
before-
episodes, and then all of them went away. Oh, Baby Looney Tunes. That's not good. Looney Tunes in Hindi. That one seems alright.
Maybe we should do rehearsals.
I'll rehearsal your dick.
Could have just played dive kick again.
यहाँ इतना खाना पड़ा खराब हो रहा है और हम भूखे मर रहे हैं। चलो हम अंदर जाकर सुना लेते हैं। अरे जोश, तुम्हारा दिमाग तो ठीक है ना? जानती हो ना, ये खेत है उस सबसे खतरनाक शख्स का जिसका नाम है डॉन पेला क्वैक जूनियर। वो गरीबों से नफरत।
Turn up a bit louder, Yoma.
Oh, okay. I'll turn this up here.
Feel bad for missing out on this. Is probably hilarious.
I mean, I guess. Also, you guys are gonna be super loud, so please refrain from talking.
यहाँ इतना खाना पड़ा खराब हो रहा है और हम भूखे मर रहे हैं। चलो हम अंदर जाकर सुना लेते हैं। अरे जोश, तुम्हारा दिमाग तो ठीक है ना? जानती हो ना, ये खेत है उस सबसे खतरनाक शख्स का जिसका नाम है डॉन पेला क्वैक जूनियर। वो गरीबों से नफरत करता है। तुम लोग मेरे खेत पर कब्जा जमाने आए हो क्यों? मैंने कितनी बार कहा है कि मेरे खेत की तरफ देखना भी मत, वरना इसमें फसल भी नहीं होगी। हम लोग आपसे सिर झुका के माफी मांगते हैं सरकार, हमारा ऐसा इरादा बिल्कुल नहीं था। जब बोलने को बोलो तभी बोलो। हाँ, इतनी हिम्मत! तुम्हारी वजह से ही मुझे गरीबों से नफरत है। अब तुम सब भी तैयार हो जाओ।
अगर मेरा भाई स्पीडी गोंजालेस यहाँ होता तो?
अब तुम लोग धमकी भी देने लगे हो। मुझे स्पीडी गोंजालेस के नाम से मत डराओ, वो तो एक कहानी है।
ये रही आपकी बड़ी सी चोट सरकार।
ठीक है बच्चे, तुम मुझे नीचा दिखलाना चाहते हो क्या? चलो हम दोनों पहले मुकाबला करते हैं।
Yeah, he totally is.
मैंने कभी मुकाबला नहीं किया। वो कैसे करते हैं?
बहुत जोरदार तरीके से दोस्त। मैं हथियारों का इस्तेमाल नहीं करता हूँ, बस ताकत का कमाल।
किसी से लड़ते वक्त दिमाग का इस्तेमाल बहुत जरूरी है। कई खुफिया प्लान बनाने पड़ते हैं।
आहा, तो ये प्लान बना रहा है। मैं भी तो देखूं कि क्या कर रहा है वो।
हे, जासूसी करना अच्छी बात नहीं है, ये धोखेबाजी है।
आओ, आओ, मैं अब तुम्हें नहीं छोड़ने वाला हूँ। अब तुमने मेरे गुस्से को और भड़का दिया है।
अरे ये क्या है? अंदर अंदर यप्पा यप्पा अंदर अंदर अंदर। अंदर अंदर इंद्र यप्पा 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 बारी बारी बारी।
Yeah, the sound is delayed a little bit. That's actually mad annoying.
हाँ बोलो, क्या चाहिए तुमको?
ये रहा आपका तोप का गोला। तोप के गोले काफी महंगे होते हैं, इन्हें खराब नहीं करना चाहिए।
अरे सुनो, ये लो, तुम भी एक ले लो।
लेकिन ये सही नहीं है, मेरे पास गोला नहीं है।
इसके पास तोप का गोला नहीं है। बुरी बात है ना ये। तुम फिक्र मत करो बच्चे, मेरे पास ढेर से है। मैं तुम्हें एक एक करके देता रहूंगा। अब क्या बात है?
मैं वो तोप का गोला लेने आया हूँ।
हाँ जरूर जरूर, अभी लेकर आता हूँ मैं। ये लो मेरे बच्चे।
शुक्रिया, मैं वापस लौटा दूंगा।
मेरा गोला मुझे वापस दो, वापस दो, वापस दो। सुना तुमने? खोलो दरवाजा, खोलो। मेरा गोला मुझे वापस दो।
ठीक है, खुद ही ले लो।
It's definitely a bit of both. Oh. It's definitely a bit of both. They have to fit the lines.
ये अच्छा नहीं किया तुमने।
And there's like a lot more commentary going on.
मैंने हर जगह पर सुरंग बिछा दी है और उनका पता सिर्फ मुझे मालूम है।
मुझे भी पता लग जाएगा।
अरे वो चाट मुझे दो, अब मैं कैसे वापस जाऊंगा? मुझे पता ही नहीं है कि सुरंग कहाँ कहाँ है।
कोई बात नहीं, मैं तुम्हें बताऊंगा।
बताओगे ना?
चिंता मत करो, मैं जरूर बताऊंगा।
अच्छा ठीक है।
ये रहा पहला। हाँ वहाँ भी। अरे वहाँ पर भी है। और अगला वहीं है। अरे क्या मतलब?
Where is the
तुमने तो एक
hour on the spot translation? I mean, it's not really funny, the translation into itself.
तुमने अपने वार कर लिए ना?
You can generally tell what they're saying regardless.
मैं घर जाकर नाश्ता वाश्ता करना चाहता हूँ, वैसे भी बारिश होने वाली है।
ये कैसा रहेगा? मैं जीत गया हूँ। अक्सर इन चीजों का मेरे ऊपर उल्टा ही असर होता है। मैं जीत की खुशी में खुद को 21 तोपों की सलामी दूंगा। 18, 19, 20, 21।
Oh no.
मम्मी।
17, 18, 19, 20। हाँ, सिर्फ 20? हाँ, ये रहा 21वां।
That wasn't very good. That was very underwhelming. You know what?
Questi 2016 sasagana bedi. Questi 2016 sasagana bedi.
Uy, ano konferansi FIFA?
2016.
Om dia bayar nam amo om se.
2016.
Nkumaji found you Ghana no more.
Paradise.
2016.
That was amazing. And can we watch toad stacking? Alright, let's look at that. We should close the stream before we go too deep. Okay, this is the last video. This is by far the last video. Which one is it? You can say in the voice chat which one is it. Oh, I guess
It's the demonstration.
Okay. I guess the one that is 1 million views. Alright.
So this is just going to be a short video on toad stacking. We're just going to try a simple 3 toad stack that anybody can do at home. What you're going to need some toads. This is a frog, so that's no good. But here's some toads here that I prepared earlier. Alright, so to start with, we grab a toad. And we need to put the toad upside down like this, and alright, now we get our next toad. Whoop. And we're going to put the toad on the top like this.
The
Alright,
hell?
that's 2. Now we get our third toad. And we put him on the top like that. Ah! Okay, we failed. Now we just need to get the third toad. This is the tricky part. Like 2's easy, anybody can do that. 3, a bit harder. We're going to get the third one to settle down. And he goes on there. And there we go, a basic 3 toad stack. Toad stacking.
I figured that you guys just did this all the time.
I think the best part of that video is where he just like swivels the camera around a bit, and at the end is like toad stacking.
It's what it is. Spiders. That's so much harder, man. Stacking spiders is way harder than stacking toads.
I like how. Never mind. I don't have anything.
I
to
mean,
say.
I don't know how he managed to do that. I didn't think that was. I mean, I thought that he'd figured something out for real, but that was like something that.
Well, let's dive into the comments. I am watching someone stack toads at 2 a.m. in the morning. What am I doing with my life? Hell yeah. This is a standard that all art should be compared to, yes. And Ellen gonna give him a life supply of toads. I like how that's 2 years old.
I mean, this video is quite old.
Oh, 2016. That's 3. Not even 3, like actually 2. 2 years old. 2.5. Why do toads freeze and let them stack? What are the replies here? Some animals pretend to be dead when near a predator. Maybe that's what the frog is do. Let's look up tonic immobility and you'll have your answer. Thank you for this. I was just about to quit because the third toad would always give me issues. I've been toad stacking for a while now, going on my 2nd year, but I could never master the yin-yang stack. This is until I decided to do a YouTube search that led me to this video. Your stacking technique is very masterful. May I ask where you learned it? 32 replies. Let's not open that one. Why is the government not funding this? Maybe it is. So what's the point of this? Why is it trending? The stack the toads, I'm not sure what's out there to stack here. Alright. Let's what Shuffle said was a good idea. Let's end it there before it goes any crazier. And let us end on a familiar sermon that we all know and love very deeply.
Trying to do my team things and trying to do my neutral things, I was always off by like 2-3 frames and dropping out. So I was like, fuck this.
And that was this podcast, number 13, the beginner roadblock episode. I sincerely appreciate everybody who joined in and provided input in the conversation. I sincerely appreciate all the viewers listening till the end, till now. And we shall see you guys next month. See you later.